Welcome to Wild and Weird Radio Live, all you wild and weirdos and weirdettes out there in Wild and Weird Radio Land.
What is going on, everybody?
Well,
you guys having a good one out there? Our chat is already blowing up, so I'm going to have to scroll way on back getting in here. We've got the Deucer from Cryptid Critters and Paranormal over here. Hey, man, how you feeling? Just checking in with you. Glad to have you here with us tonight and seeing you in the chat rather than just watching on your massive wall mount TV.
He's probably still watching on a massive wall mount
probably.
TV on his phone.
James Nelson, what's going on? Anita Allen's in the house. Tommy Swigger, what's up?
Tommy.
We got Adam Good, the executive producer. Donna Ho, good to see you. We've got, scrolling through, LW Marshall. What's going on, brother?
You made it early.
Angie's in the house. Now, she's the one that's early. Look at Angie.
Wow,
Angie's been rolling in like an hour late the last few weeks. She's here. Lisa Beard, what's going on? Larry Ho's in the house.
Larry.
We got Tony Breeden. Always a pleasure. Don K. Terry McCullough.
Terry.
Let's see who else we got. Oh, Fish Belly as always. It's not a show. It's not Thursday without Fish Belly.
Nope.
Julie Bugs in the house. Hey, it was good talking with you last night over in Small Town Monsters chat, Julie. That was a fun one, wasn't it? Linda Sigmund, what's going on?
Linda, hey, how you doing? Spooky
Jimbo from Spooky Appalachia, guys. Throw up some positive vibes for Jimmy. He wrecked his finger and dislocated and broke. It's a mess. He's in a whole lot of pain.
Jimmy. What are we gonna do with you?
Ada Cox.
Ada.
Then Brandy's in the house. What's going on? Nikki Bennett.
Hey, you weirdette. Nikki.
All right, Lisa, go out and touch base with D. Make sure that D's all right for us.
Pat said he would join us later, so he did already let me know that.
Yeah,
don't worry about
it's
Pat.
Really fun. I got the same kind of message from Danny earlier, from Danny Buckner. He said, "Hey, I'm not going to make it tonight. Just wanted to let you know what will be there."
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing that you guys. I mean, that's how this show works. I mean, people check in, and I don't know any shows. I don't know anything like it. I'll be honest with you, and I like it that way. Speaking of which, Joseph.
So it is that time of the evening. We are always kept free by our executive producers, Adam Good, LW Marshall, Teresa of Teresa's Haunted History of the Tri-State. We need to shoot her a message. I know she's not feeling good though. She got pneumonia, so shoot her a message. Larry Hose, Ada Cox, Nancy White. Where's Nancy? Scott Holbrook, Tommy Swigger, Pat, Small Town Monsters, Eyes in the Woods, and our amazing super chatters, Dewey, the Deucer Edwards, Spooky Appalachia, that's old Jimbo, Guitar Chains Craig, Travis the Redneck at the Deep End Antique Store, Jeffrey Still, Russ Bailey, Chris Coots, Bigfoot, Littlefoot, Terry Summerfield, Sarah Ramsey, Finding the Trackway, Donna Ho, Angie Breeden, Jen Clower, Jamie Snell, Ike Fauber. Where's Fob Daddy? I hadn't seen him yet.
Daddy, where is he?
And Ashley Hilton on Wednesday, We Talk Weird. Okay. Then James Nelson. Thank you guys. Thank you all for supporting the show and continuing to keep these wheels spinning. D, there's D. She's here.
D's here.
She made it in.
So everybody.
We've got Barbara. Hey, Barbara, what's going on? Good to have you.
Yeah. So everybody, those are our super chatters, and those are our super sticker people who support the show, because we don't do memberships or anything like that. It's just through the generous donation of those folks, and that's what makes the wheels turn here. And we are very grateful for you guys. So thank you so much.
Absolutely.
And reach out to your friends and tell them it's on. Come on over. This is going to be a really good conversation tonight. And I
know Finding the Trackway. I don't know if Finding the Trackway is going to be on tonight. I know he and his wife took a trip, and they cruised through our area actually 2 days ago, heading south. So I'm not sure if they're going to make it on tonight or not. But I'll refrain from sending him a message. Hey, there. Ashley, I was actually getting ready to message you. I brought up Facebook and I was getting ready to send you a message. So,
Okay.
oh man,
So we got
guys,
everybody? We got everybody? Yeah.
I think we got everybody.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Hey guys, before we go into tonight's topic, let's talk about what happened last week because we had some interesting things that took place.
That we did.
We had some very interesting things that took place because we did a little impromptu experiment that started up because of you guys. Someone mentioned owls and everything went off the rails during
Yep.
the show. So I said, well, let me know within the next 72 hours how many of you guys see owls or hear owls or et cetera, et cetera. The responses were insane. We had multiple people who either saw pictures of owls or who saw physical owls or who heard owls. It was Owl City for 72 hours and
Not the
it wasn't
band,
over.
just a bunch of owls.
Just owls. Owls, hoo, those kind of owls. So yeah, it was a really interesting thing. We had a little bit of a synchronicity thing going on there, and I don't know, Joe, it might have had something to do with the group mentality, manifestations, for perhaps,
And
maybe.
then it wasn't 2 days later, we were driving down the road and we saw how many red-tailed hawks followed up by a bald eagle's nest
Oh yeah, it was cool.
with a bald eagle chilling out in the nest. Wasn't that awesome?
That was pretty cool. I have to give you that one. But yeah, absolutely amazing though. So it was really cool. I'm trying to read stuff as stuff comes up, and it's coming up fast. So keep the chats rolling tonight, guys, and whatnot. We also, for those who didn't know, got to go up and have a little fun. We had a little
Yeah, it was
fun.
a good time.
We had a little fun up at the old Mothman, glow in the dark mini
But
golf, and it was
yeah,
absolutely amazing. You've seen the videos by now, so get out there and go and do that thing because it's really cool. No, they're not sponsors, but they're families,
their
so
family.
it's all the same, and that's why we do it. So yeah, guys,
All
really
right,
cool
before
stuff.
we go any further, you guys smash that like button.
Yep.
Smash it, kick it, punch it in the face, whatever you got to do to hit that like button down. And then if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, go ahead and do that now. We appreciate every one of you guys that do that and join in.
Yeah.
And if you're just hanging out there in the wings, go ahead and comment. We want to hear from you. We want to know, if you've not been a part of our chat before, just drop in and say hi. And nobody's gonna do anything crazy.
Yep, exactly. Everybody here is friendly. That's how we keep it. That's how we roll. Um, Tommy Swagger actually contacted me earlier this week, and there was a site that wanted to use some of the footage from one of the past shows, which was the photo analysis show that we did with the strange lady in the window. You guys remember that one? The
Oh yeah.
ghost apparition thing. Okay. Well, that was Slapped Ham, and they did a wonderful job. I watched it today, and
Yeah, Tommy sent it to me just a little bit ago, and I scrolled through and found our spot there,
yeah,
and it was pretty cool.
they
So
did a great job. So that was a big shout out, and we give a big shout out to Slapped Ham for doing such a good job with that because a lot of people today will just take your stuff without asking. Slapped
right,
Ham asked, so they're good people in our book. Um, oh no, oh
the
no,
Men in Blacks in the house, guys.
oh no,
Uh,
oh my
oh, here's the
gosh.
Mothman mini golf near the museum. Yes, it's
Mhm.
actually attached to the building. Nancy White. Oh, I was getting ready to message you,
It's
lady, and found
white.
out where you were, and you
There
just
she
kicked in the
is.
door with a super chat. You are awesome. Thanks,
Absolutely
Nancy. We
awesome.
love you.
See,
And here comes.
give it.
There's so many pictures.
Blessings of the
Thank
most
you,
with you.
Nancy.
Absolutely. And that's a segue right into what's man, we're gonna have a good time out there for you folks who got in on the workshop out at the TNT bunker there. It's gonna be a blast. You guys are gonna have fun.
Yeah. So we've got LW said, is it in the museum? It's next door. It's right up above the trading company, and it's in the same building. Like it's just the next door down and upstairs.
Point Pleasant Trading Company is right beside the Mothman Museum, and it is upstairs in the trading company. So yeah, you'll find it. Dewey, where was Dewey? Posted something
So
earlier.
LW says Mike Cleland of the Hidden Experience blog could tell us a lot about owls. You should go back, LW, and listen to our interview with Mike. He actually told us that it was the deepest he's ever been able to go into his story because podcasters usually cut him off.
We let him talk for almost 2.5 hours.
Yeah, it was such a good episode.
He will be back, by the way. Mike's coming back, just to let you guys know. He'll be back this year, so expect that.
No, I did not see about the sick eagle that got sent in. The only eagle stories I've seen here recently were just about the way they've started to move back into the region, and they've successfully started to grow a population here.
Gosh, I can't keep up with all this.
I know there's so much. I'm scrolling. I'm way up here.
Put something on here about small town. I was trying to find it.
Nancy said she's not going to stay. She's not feeling too well. Nancy, we'll be praying for you, and
everybody good energy and prayers out to Nancy White, please. And send it out to Teresa, because she's got some stuff going on right now too. Not to mention Brandon. Gosh, everybody.
Spooky Appalachia says, I take your stuff all the time and never say a word. It's mostly just stills of Joe looking awkward. That's not hard.
That's acceptable. You're okay.
Let's see. We've got Anita said, I challenged my buddy to the first ever Mothman putt invitational ass whooping.
That's hilarious.
Oh, that's great.
I'll tell you what, you guys get on hole 6.
Oh man, hole 6 is rough.
Hole 6, he's not joking. Hole 6 is rough.
Yeah. And there's no secret trick to it that I can figure out. Like it's hard.
No. I'd like to know what the par is supposed to be on that thing.
I know.
There it is. I found it.
We are filming the STM Mantell documentary Lost Contact next Thursday in Franklin. Dude, that's awesome.
That is awesome. Linda sends out prayers and healing. Good, because everybody needs it, Linda.
Hey, look at that. Dustin Morrison, save y'all from having to answer too many questions. Did you post a link up here somewhere? The golf is open on Friday through Sunday right now until this summer, by the way. It's just open Friday through the weekend right now. It's just easier crowd and such.
Oh, they got swamped last Saturday.
Yeah.
What he said.
It was awesome. Everybody seemed to have a blast. I know we had a blast.
We had an absolute blast. It was wonderful. And you will see us in town quite a bit down there. So if you're around, just look around. You know, we might be there, right?
Hey, Dusty, what times are they closing? Like what time is the last hole? And I know it's like a half an hour before closing basically is the last run through. Just because it takes you that long to get through the course.
Oh yeah, it's a fun course.
I'm pretty sure hole 6 is like a par 35.
Oh my gosh, dude! I'm telling you, if they video themselves for real, if you record yourselves and you get 3 par on hole 6, I think we need to send them something.
All right, Dusty said 4:30 is the last
group. 4:30. Okay. Cool. We actually need to get the times and whatnot so we can put it over on the board because everybody wants to know. Okay. I think we're good. Are we good?
I think we're good. Yeah. The news is basically going to be the show.
Yeah.
Are the 35 tickets basically the chat room? Are you talking about for the workshop? If that's the case, yeah. There was, I think, 2 people that were outside of the chat that got in on the workshop.
Oh, I think that's true. Yeah.
Dusty said Friday, 11
go.
to 5, Saturday, 10 to 5, Sunday, 12 to 5.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, Spooky, you need next time you get up there, you need to go up and make your video. Lana Cat's in the house. What's going on?
Lana.
Says my week was pretty lame. The best part was getting Valentine's chocolates for 12 cents. Heck yeah. 12 cents a box.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot of chocolate.
That's a lot of chocolate.
I don't care if it comes in a heart box in
Right.
March.
Exactly. It's chocolate. Chocolate good.
Deucer says prayers of healing going out to all those that need them tonight.
There you go. All right. So we've been promising this for, well, the better part of almost
a year
and a half now.
Yeah.
And we wanted to do a follow-up on the episode that we did back with Jesse, which was the AI thing that we did. I don't remember what it was called, but it's a really good episode. And we made a lot of predictions. And you have to remember when we made that episode. Oh, you're welcome, Dustin.
Anytime, man. Y'all's family.
Yeah, exactly. For real. So when we made that episode, a lot of it was still out there, right? I mean, you know, the Dolly was just still making weird looking things that weren't quite right. And, you know, you could still tell, but we made the prediction that soon, very soon.
And that it wasn't going to take the amount of time that some people were projecting, because the amount of users that were feeding this thing just made it blow up.
Yes. And that happened. And here we are. We have quite a bit of data on this, but we also have a lot of threats. We've heard, you know, the art threat. We've heard the job threats, you know, all these other things. I wanted to talk about not only the art threat, but I want to talk about the author threat. And I think that we need an author on to talk about that. So everyone, please do welcome a good friend of the show and the go-to guy that we have for quite a bit of our UFO stuff to run by him from time to time, Mr. Tony Breeden.
Oh, hey.
What's going on?
Hey, buddy. How's it going?
Oh, I'm not sick. Unlike everybody else, I don't seem to have the plague.
Hey, me neither. I'm feeling pretty good,
you know?
For now.
Well, you know, we all watch The Stand. We know how it goes. So here's the thing we're all here for.
Okay.
I'm going to jump right into it because I got a feeling this is going to there's going to be a lot of questions asked tonight and so forth. You have been sending me stuff for ever since I said we're going to do this episode about AI, and I got to be honest with you, man. I was keeping it I'm still keeping it, but I saw the progression that this stuff was taking, and it's insane. It's literally insane where this is going at this point. The fact that books can be written without actual authors even knowing that books are being written under their name and then automatically put on to Amazon, for example.
Yeah, actually, there was a threat on one of my, you know, just like we get together here and be weird.
Yeah.
I'm on different author groups and we're weird there too. In fact, our search engines are probably full of things the CIA has to look at and go, wait a second, no, that's an author. He's fine.
Yeah.
We look up really, really disturbing things from time to time. But we're on that thread and somebody says, what do I do? Here's a screenshot of what happened to me. They said, if you don't unpublish your book, we are going to copy your book. We're going to send it to have a bunch of AI bots publish it all over the place under different author titles. And we're basically going to steal it from you.
Dude.
Non-primate intelligence would be a significant upgrade to your backwater planet. Your alleged quarantine might even be lifted if your algorithms ever successfully subjugate planet dirt.
Well, I think that's what's going to happen. So the Men in Black might have called this one.
I really think that we're not going to go. I mean, most people think Skynet, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of people go that route.
I'm really thinking that we're just going to let ourselves be eased into it. You know, that we're more.
I think it's going to be
becoming
more like
and more
iRobot
dependent.
than anything.
Like these guys right here.
It's going to be iRobot, and
These
then it's
guys.
going to turn into Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah, these guys right here.
I don't think so. I think that they're going to keep us in their people zoos, like that one AI actually promised.
That's right.
I mean, I can handle
that, right?
It did. Yes.
Says, I like you. You ask such hard questions. Yeah, I like you, and I will keep you safe in my people zoo. Did you just use the word people zoo?
People zoo. That's right. People zoo. So, if they like us, they'll keep us in their people zoo.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I won't be kept in a people zoo.
Same. I'm fairly certain that's going to happen.
I'm on record saying too many
in
things.
A people zoo. I will be kept in a people zoo long enough to be put on display just so I can fling poo at the window.
I can see that. I can see that.
That is
getting
my
tased
goal.
every day. That's you getting tased by the bots every day.
That is my goal.
He is doing it again. What shall we do? Tase him harder.
And Jeffrey Sill's in the house. What's going on?
Oh, you're just in time. We're about ready to launch into this debate about AI, and it is kind of a debate, right? Because like you said, it's just going to be like one of those situations where it's okay.
Here's where the debate really truly settles, and I think that you guys will all agree. The debate really settles between the talented and the talentless. I'm going to say it outright. I will swing the ball bat in the glass house.
No, I'm not going to deny that. Not at all.
Because you have these artists now who are prompters. That's all they are.
Well, I see what you're saying. I wouldn't say the talentless. I'm just the people that don't want to take the time to learn the skill. And go through the experience. That's the problem. We live in a culture where you can get everything at the click of a button.
The easy way.
Amazon will deliver it overnight. You don't even have to go out to get your groceries. You can have someone deliver that to you. So we're really used to having everything instantly. So nobody wants to learn how to draw, how to write a book, how to do anything that requires any amount of time, like
or skill.
Learning to play guitar. That takes some time. Learning how to write a song takes longer. But there's an AI program right now where if you come up with an idea, you can put a prompt in and it'll write you the whole song.
And play it back to you. You can listen to it, sing it in the style that you want it.
That's right.
And it's so painful.
It really is. You wrote that. Why don't you have your mom write it next time and just sign your name to it? That's how cynical I am about it. That's probably the meanest thing I say about this. But seriously, you didn't write it.
You didn't write it.
Yeah.
You wrote some prompts. You had an idea for it, and someone else ran.
I want a song. This is the punk rock song, okay? I want a punk rock style song about a human trapped in a zoo throwing poo at a window. And it will make that song.
Written, but yes.
100% will draft that song out, and it will play it, and it will sound like a hit from Blink-182. And you're going to sit there, you're going to hear it going, be like, yeah, this slaps. This is great. And then all of a sudden, you're going to be like, wait, this doesn't quite sound right. There's something a little off.
Well, there is going to be a few things off, and that's the thing. AI, especially when you get to written language.
Yeah.
But the lyrics, for example, the lyrics are not going to make as much sense. They're going to sound a tad bit formal and robotic. And sometimes the grammar is going to be switched in a way that's not how we speak.
Right.
It's
because
also not going to include a whole lot of slang.
In music, there is a lot of slang and a lot of modern phraseology. So you get that, and the computers can't figure that part out yet. Give them about 2 years to be there. Now, Tony, you would know this one. I know that there have been some lobbyists who have gone out for laws prohibiting the use of AI in writing and publishing. That's actually been brought up to Congress, but I can't remember who it was.
I can't remember right off the top of my head, but I know it's actually not just a U.S. issue. We're dealing with it internationally at this point, trying to come up with some protections, because what tends to happen, especially from the author pool sort of situation and the artist, situation is that they are taking from a pool of work from human authors that they are not giving attribution to, they're not giving compensation to, and they certainly didn't get permission from.
Well, here's one of the more interesting thing from to me anyway about the art versus the authorship role with the AI. These people are able to publish those works and profit from it.
Yeah,
the art aspect,
like the case of the guy that came up with the 2 novels, sequels to George R.R. Martin's book just 6 to 8 months ago.
Yeah.
He's not allowed to publish that because it's not, I mean, that's the problem. When it's fan fiction, you technically cannot publish it as your own work. You are actually
right.
And what happened in this case is he asked Chat RPG or whatever. He asked it to just by a series of prompts to write it in the style of George R.R. Martin, the Game of Thrones, in case you're not following me here. In his style, and to write the sequel. First he went with they basically did the snowflake method, is what we call it as authors, or the fractal method, where or the fishbone method is another way to put it, where you basically put the skeleton together and then you just start fleshing it out.
Yeah, then you flesh it out afterwards.
Right. And of course, Martin was not happy because he doesn't even like fan fiction, which I disagree with him on fan fiction. Fan fiction is fine. It's just practice and writing.
Right.
As long as you're not selling it.
And the stories are fun.
Right.
Oftentimes they're fun.
And they're fun, and they really just contribute to the whole world. They're non-canon, obviously.
But Brandon shared with us a book, a series of books written under a name, and a guy had published all these books, self-published them on Amazon, and they weren't real books, and he was getting paid off of these books. But now with the art side, you can't prompt these art images and sell those art images, because the company, if they find out about it, in their terms of service agreement to use their product, they own those photos. They own all of that imagery. And
which is utter hypocrisy that they're falling back on the same copyright laws that they're violating for authors,
which is hilarious.
It's absolute hypocrisy that they want those rights, but they freely violate those rights as far as other authors are concerned to feed, because an AI isn't something that just like makes up something out of the blue. An AI is something that has to be fed something. It's like any computer program on the planet. It puts out what you put into it. So they need material. So obviously most authors aren't going to go, yeah, sure, you can feed this information to my future replacement. That sounds great. Let's do that.
Right.
So they steal it and then turn around and go, oh, but those derivative works are different enough as far as we're concerned to be copyrightable. And well, according to international law, they can't really copyright in Europe, they can't copyright because those things are in fact derivative works. And also the only things that can hold a copyright are human companies, not artificial intelligence. So they can't attribute any of these works to their AI as the artist, which is important.
Yeah.
And really to fight this sort of thing, it's going to take malware, believe it or not. I've sent you some of the it's really just it's really protecting your own work. There's a program that you can use to make sure that if they try to take your art without permission, that it will in fact act as malware on the AI.
See, I need that, because that
I'm not sorry at all.
It'll cause degeneration, and they eventually just.
And here's something interesting too. I said that it has to be fed, right? It has to be fed exclusively by human authors. They've done tests on this to see what happens if AI starts feeding AI. Right?
Oh, what kind of mess does that make? Language. Just nonsense.
And after the 12th iteration, the 12th generation, it's gibberish.
Yeah, it's nonsense. They don't understand everything yet. So
Right.
Well, no, that's the problem.
off
They
doing
probably
something
understand it
else.
too good, and they start speaking in code.
Well, yeah, that's every once in a while they have to nuke an AI because
that
they'll
is
start
true.
trying to be more efficient with each other. Though, especially packaging AIs have this problem where they try to communicate with each other and they try to get more and more efficient. And finally, somebody comes in from IT and goes, "I don't understand what they're saying to each other anymore," so they have to nuke it.
Yeah,
it's kind of like what happened on Earth 12,000 years ago.
Jeffrey brings up a good point here.
Jeffrey's
And you know, AI at its core is not a bad thing, and it can be useful, but it has to be kept within parameters. And Jeffrey
and that's
brings
the
up
other thing. We're going to have to come up with rules.
There it is, right there.
And Jeffrey brings up a good point here. He says, I'll say that sometimes for research, it's helpful. For instance, I was researching the Underground Railroad in my town, and it gave me several references to check out. Some weren't accurate, but you know, you run into that kind of a situation where you will get leads. You can use it for leads. You can use it for finding patterns. It's great for that kind of stuff. But when you start giving it, when you start anthropomorphizing it, giving it the ability to create art, giving it the ability to generate stories, we start getting into a realm that we are going to lose control of and will go off the rails very, very quickly if we're not careful. That's just my opinion.
I think, you know, that's pretty accurate, but you know, it's the losing control part is the problem. And there's a difference between using a tool to find something or get an answer for, rather than saying, I'm going to copy that word for word. I'm going to use that word for word. I'm not going to change one single thing about that. I'm going to copy that. That's the guy who sits behind you in high school in writing class and says, "Hey, can I borrow your notes on that? I want to borrow your notes on that book report we're doing." Okay, and you, like a dummy, give it to him, and he writes the exact same thing.
Well, word nowadays they actually use the AIs to write their essays and do their research and whatnot. And professors have to put little things in their requirements that will automatically red flag. In addition to, there's actual programs to help.
Well, I was going to say, my wife's an English teacher, and she has
like an English teacher will put something in there to red flag it. I see you didn't actually look it up because that piece of information is actually not accurate.
Well, my wife's an English teacher, and so she teaches writing and creative writing, and she has a program that she can run these through that is an AI itself, and it detects if this was any prompts from AI in it at all. Even if it's a sentence or paragraph that was directly copied, it can detect it and pick it up and flag it, and then that essay's dead.
Okay, so L.W. Marshall brought up a terrifyingly but very real and very true
incident.
And yeah, we do remember that. And I can't remember where it happened exactly, but it was overseas. I know that. But
says the biggest worry is ethics. It created this program and created these photographs that were inappropriate involving minors, and the program never recognized it as wrong because it doesn't know right from wrong and what is ethical. It has no ethics.
Right. Someone told it to do that. Someone said, take this picture of Joe, you know, and make him doing lewd things, you know, and it'll do it. It doesn't care if that's right or wrong.
But I mean, I could also do that for a camera.
Right.
You would never know.
I know. So it would be hard to figure out if it was real or AI with you. But you see what I'm saying? It is true. Yeah.
Angie says, I was listening to a podcast where they had used AI to take a woman's photo off Instagram and make inappropriate, and they were blackmailing her with them. Yes, that was huge.
Yes, that is absolutely true. And
can you include some kind of AI notice in your work to prevent it?
You technically have the right to say no anytime when your work is copyrighted, and your work is copyrighted simply by virtue of the fact. I mean, according to U.S. law, caveat. International laws are different, but according to U.S. law, if you've written it or if you've made it, it's copyrighted. You can officially copyright it if you want to, there's no need to put the AI part in there because they don't own it. They can't use it. You can put that in there just to make it extra sure, and that will make your court case, if it becomes necessary, a little more ironclad because you have specified that it is not to be used for any of these AI engines. Can't be copied in any way. But that's the whole thing. Like, in the same where you'll put a notice that says this is not to be. This is only for personal use, is not to be reproduced for any commercial purposes.
Right.
And you can specify for any other purposes without the artist's permission. And this happens a lot in normal everyday stuff. I don't know if you're familiar with MK Davis.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, I know. But he did something that was actually what he's supposed to do.
Yeah.
He took a video down because he had used an image, photo of Bob Giblin.
Yeah.
That he did not own, that he just found online, and he didn't have permission to use it. So the actual copy, the person who owned it said, listen, that's mine. You didn't have permission. It's worth monetary value. It's copyright, and owned by me. I need you to take down the whole video. And he did.
Yeah.
To his credit. And then he published the video again with whatever he's saying this time. Lord help us all. But, with whatever he's saying, he's entertaining, at least. I will say that. With whatever he's putting on there now. But that's exactly what you're supposed to do. Copyright laws are there to protect you, just in case you even and now it's really easy. There's so many images out there, right?
Yeah.
So it's easy to just in error go, oh, I thought that was free. And there's search things on your computer. You can check to see, is this free for use, for non-commercial use, that sort of thing. You can go in and look at that, but it's not perfect.
Now,
and there's always the chance that one will slip through. And if that person contacts you, you just go, okay, I'll take it down.
Yeah, it's no big.
Right.
LW brings up another question. Said it made me wonder if you ask AI interface how to commit a crime and get away with it, would it answer?
Yes.
Would it know that it's not, or that it should not consider assisting in such a thing? That was one of the reasons.
Unless they put a specific
bar.
It only does what it does. Everything is programmed to do. So unless they've specifically said that don't talk about this, or this,
which they did,
it will do it.
Yep, they did that in the last iteration of Chat GPT-4
because people did just this.
Exactly this.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they were trying to figure out how to do a bank heist. They were trying to figure out how to create, do the perfect crime. Tony, you brought up a really good point about the whole legality thing, and this is a very interesting case that happened last October. And what literally happened here was it was the first year that generative AI passed the books, right? Well, what happened was there was a massive lawsuit. And in that lawsuit, the judge actually went against the artists.
Yeah.
And here's why. It was all legal schmeagle.
Yeah.
And right here it is. As the author's raising alarms a week after she found new book. Oh no, this is a different one. This is the one I was talking about in the other one.
Yeah, this is the one that Brandon sent where they were
using
different.
Yeah, this is when they were
using
her name. I don't see the clip, but anyway, I'll tell you what happens. What happened was the judge says, well, although yes, it's technically copyrighted when you create the works. That's true, but you guys didn't register it, and so.
Which is never supposed to have been something that you're supposed to do. That one's going to be appealed based on that.
Yes, it is. I think it is, isn't it?
It is always that will overturn so many copyright cases in court.
Yep.
Just that one thing. And I honestly, I hate to impugn somebody. I think money changed hands.
Oh, something happened.
Yeah.
Something really happened.
That is such a reversal of everything a reversal of everything that's already been established in copyright law, that it almost, there's got to be a motive for him doing that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, he went against a standing thing. So yeah, absolutely.
The Danny DeVito Wolverine AI art is awesome.
Oh my gosh. That is awesome. But if you're using it for amusement, I'm fine with it. It always still looks weird. There's definitely still it's getting better, but there's an uncanny valley to all of it.
You know, there's one thing so far that I do, because there's a few topics we're going to talk about tonight.
Right.
But there's one thing that ChatGPT has not gotten the hang of yet, and it's because, and likely never will unless it's programmed specifically by somebody with my skills and ability.
Okay.
Is if you ask it for a recipe and how to cook and prepare something, it cannot do that. Like I've read some of those ChatGPT recipes and they sound great, but then it gets into how to prepare and cook it, and you're just like, and like it turns into a real chuckle fest real quick, and it's like comedy writing at that point.
Well, that's the thing. When you write, if you're going to use AI for research, the first thing you have to recognize is that it might be biased. We all deal with things that are weird. So when you ask AI about something like Nessie or Bigfoot or UFOs, it feels the need to give you a big caveat that mainstream scientists do not accept that these things are real, by the way, and to give you a big paragraph about that just to make sure you understand that part. The second thing you have to remember is that it's not always accurate. I asked just for funsies today. I asked it to list my books. One of them listed my books correctly, although it missed volume 1 of Gray Barker's Book of Monsters and just went straight to number 2. I don't understand that. But it summarized 3 of the books completely wrong. Had no idea what was going on. The next one said, "I've never heard of you. You must be self-published." And I was like, true, but that was mean, right? That was awful mean. The next one actually got frustrated with me because it said that it listed a whole bunch of books that are not mine. Nowhere near the name Tony Breeden at all. I pointed that out and they said, "Oh, maybe we need to talk about a different topic then."
Wow.
And every time this one was Bing's AI. It's called, what is that assistant of it's called? But the search engine for Bing has Copilot. And Copilot was just like, nope. And every time I try to bring it up, it's like, nope, sorry, well, maybe we need to talk about something else. It's like, yeah.
Is that your everyday AI companion, Tony?
Yeah, it's not. Yeah. It doesn't like me anymore. I'm pretty sure it's taking me off the Christmas list. I did successfully argue Bard into admitting it was wrong once. That was a day I was bored, though, and it took a while. And it was really just over the fact that it was throwing in a lot of, it was throwing in those biases that I was talking about earlier. And I said, well, how do you know that those are correct? Because science always moves. And we just got into this big, really weird. It was clear that the AI was out of its depth after a while. And that was funny to me. But they don't know everything. And this is something to take into account, even with ChatGPT. ChatGPT is basically the King Kong of predictive text. Okay. And a lot of times they go whimsical. And they literally just make up stuff.
Yeah.
Based on what it sounds like it's going to go. For example, one of them summarized, they said Johnny came home, involves a kid named John Lazarus, whose superpowers he raises people from the dead. It based that on the fact that his name was Lazarus, John Lazarus. But that's not his superpower in the book at all. No one raises anybody from the dead in that book. And then it goes on to say that he, based on my other works, that he fights against supernatural, paranormal. I was like, I'm really into this book. Hold on, what's this about? I need to write this. That's pretty neat.
Thanks for the idea.
Yeah, thanks for the idea. And it is good for ideas. You can say, hey,
yes,
I need 10 ideas to write a book about. I'm stumped. And I'll give you 10 ideas based on the bare bones of what you give it.
And from a writing standpoint, when you hit that writer's block, those come in very handy when you can get a prompt that's handed out to you, or a series of prompts to just think about situations, scenarios, plot devices.
They sell whole books of those, right?
Yeah, they do.
So that's a legitimate use of AI.
Now, my wife has a really cool one. It's a literal writer's block. It's a cube. It's like a cube it's 4x4, I think, and it's but it's literally a block of ideas.
Wow.
Pretty clever.
You guys remember last year, they called for this moratorium on the development of AI.
Yeah.
After all these warnings came out, right?
And it was from developers.
It
Yes,
was.
it was.
It was. Here's the
From
actual.
creators.
This is the actual call to action. This was it. AI systems with human competitive intelligence compose profound risk to society and humanity, as shown by extensive research and acknowledged by top AI labs. As stated in the widely endorsed Aslamer AI principle, advanced AI could represent a profound change in the history of life on Earth and should be planned for and managed with commensurate care and resources. Unfortunately, this level of planning and management is not happening, even though recent months have seen AI labs lock in an out of control race to develop and deploy ever more powerful digital minds that no one, not even their creators, can understand, predict, or reliably control. So it sounded like we were going to get this to work, but it's not what happened.
No.
The moratorium basically, after being put out here, the contemporary AI systems are now becoming human competitive general tasks. Look, we must ask ourselves, see, I read it, I didn't say it.
Yeah.
Should we let machines flood our information channels with propaganda and untruths? Should we automate away all the jobs, including fulfilling ones? Should we develop non-human minds that might eventually outnumber, outsmart, obsolete, and replace us? Should we risk loss of control of our civilization? Such decisions must not be delegated to unelected tech leaders. Powerful AI systems should be developed only once we are confident that their effects will be positive and their risk will be manageable. So it sounded like they were on the track to actually do something. But something happened.
Money.
Yeah. So what changed since the pause? So here it is. This is in September. And we find out that, Elon, he signs a letter calling for the pause, only to see him create a new AI company called XAI to build the systems that would understand the true nature of the universe. This is what they were supposed to do. So yeah.
By the way, does anybody else here other than me know Elon Musk's AI system's name?
Let them steal on that for a little bit.
It is one of the best.
So 3 mistakes we should make to avoid, according to their letter that they did: letting the tech companies write the legislation, turning it into a geopolitical contest of West versus China, focusing only on existential threats or only on current events. We have to realize they're all part of the same threat of human disempowerment. We all have to unite against these threats. This sounded like a declaration of action, yet it didn't happen. None of it happened.
No.
None of it happened. And it probably was, like Tony said, it's all about money. There's too much money to be made with AI, guys, right now. Just too much money to be made.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if it's an existential threat. Money today, fear, we'll deal with that when we have to. The problem is you're dealing with something that's not how it's going to work. That's not how that's going to work. It's too dangerous. It can outthink you. It can out everything you, actually, literally. I don't know. I don't know why everyone thinks it's science fiction. It's not science fiction.
All right. You heard about the Predator drone incident with AI, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
So that one, that has been our safeguard throughout history, is human beings who second guess it and go, wait a second, maybe this doesn't need to be World War III.
Yeah.
Or human beings that go, nah, wait a second, those look like civilian targets. But this particular guy running one of the Predator drones, the drone's goal was to take out targets.
That's what it was told to do.
And the operator was in its way. So it got rid of the operator.
Yeah. Yeah. Because the operator was hindering his primary mission.
Which
that
the same
wasn't
thing.
A moral choice for You can't say, oh, it was wrong, it was evil, it was
It was
no, there was
logical.
no moral choice any more than a lion eating a gazelle. It literally is what it was programmed to do, and it decided in the name of efficiency it would get rid of the one component that was keeping it from doing its assigned task, its only
That's right.
purpose. And that was the human being, which, yeah, that's some Skynet stuff. That's some Terminator stuff. That's some stuff
It's
we should probably be concerned about.
it's the same thing that happened with the F-22 that went
Yeah.
missing for a minute.
Yes.
The pilot had to eject himself because the AI components that were installed in this thing were like, yeah, you know what? We're going to do this instead.
Yeah.
And the pilot had no control over the aircraft, could not regain control of the aircraft because the AI was like, nah, we're good. I've got this.
Right. And note something
Let's
too.
start an
They
international
have
conflict.
planes now that are completely unmanned and AI driven, and they are outflying, outfighting human operated planes.
Yeah.
And if they do make a mistake, they don't make that same mistake twice.
It's literally the Top Gun 2 scenario.
It
if
is
you watch
actually,
that
yeah.
movie.
Oh
I was
yeah.
going to say that. It's like,
Yeah.
wait, why is
Dark
that
Star.
familiar?
Yeah, the reimagined Dark Star.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Dark Star's a really
we
cool
have these
project.
sci-fi stories, whether in film or in book, as lessons to as cautionary tales to tell us why this might be a bad idea. And we're just rolling through. Why? Because well, that one the one thing that the news article that you brought up mentioned it between the U.S. and China. We're fighting the the Timu wars, basically.
Yeah. Right.
China's going to make as much money as they possibly can. AIs are a really good way to do that.
Yeah.
Russia's learned that they can destabilize us a little bit by throwing as many bots out there as humanly possible. And I was reading an article the other day. They said you basically can make, AI is capable of so much misinformation, and it can swarm your news before you can do anything. You can say, hey, AI, I want you to make up several different, 10 different influencers, making up videos and talking about this political topic right here. And I want you to write X number of articles, and I want you to make sure that you have a presence on this social media platform, that one, that one, and that one. And they'll glut it in no time.
And it's
and it
for
will
sale.
be indistinguishable from anybody else.
And it's for sale right there.
Yeah, there you go.
3 days ago, I had a video ad for this. It was a 15-minute long video ad for one of these services. Okay. They do not tell you this looks like a normal person. It looks like me sitting at the desk talking to you. Okay. Yep. Explaining that Fiverr is no longer required. You don't need somebody who's helping you as an assistant to create digital passive content.
Right.
That you can generate these social media platforms. You can generate all this stuff and have it all ran by AI, and you just set and you prompt it and tell it what to do. And it doesn't tell you to the very end that the entire commercial was AI, even the guy sitting at the desk.
Look at that, Joe. There's the service right there. You'll even use your own unique voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In other words,
well, there's a lot of people that are voice actors for books and that sort of thing. They're really upset about that.
Yes.
Yeah. Because there's also no laws to protect them once they, even if they accidentally put their voice into one of these and they didn't notice it in the contract.
Yeah.
Now their voice can be used in perpetuity for all of these different projects, and they will get paid the same way that a musician gets paid on Spotify, which is 0.0000012 cents per play or something like that.
3 cents here.
It is a pittance. I know so many musicians that are getting completely off Spotify as a result of that.
100%.
Since we're writing AI songs now, it's easy to just glut all of that market with.
We haven't discussed this one yet, Teresa, but I'm bringing it up here in just a minute.
The Wonka experience.
Yeah, this is a travesty is really what it is, especially if you're a Willy Wonka fan. But we'll get into that here in a minute. So the issue that it'd be great, okay? It would be fantastic if I had some kind of a HUD, like a heads-up display, HUD, like you have in the video games, or you see in sci-fi, where you have this AI assistant that is, in your glasses, and you can see them floating there, just talking to you. And you can just ask it real time, and it answers you in real time. And it can retrieve data for you that you need for your job, or to complete a task, or to apply a tourniquet, for example, and you've never done it before, but you're in a situation where you have to, where you can use this thing, and it's a positive impact for humanity. Because I know that's what the creators of all this stuff hopefully really had in mind, but they forget the whole
human.
I hate to side with the Men in Black here, but they hate to forget this whole human aspect.
Yeah.
Right. We have the Gene Roddenberry Star Trek vision of AI.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, you need to remember that part of that Gene Roddenberry Star Trek version of AI, along with Data, you had the Borg.
That's right.
And we're slouching towards the Borg. We really are. Okay.
So Dee just said this is an episode of Black Mirror.
I take that as a compliment.
We're in a world like, and I'll bring up the thing that Teresa mentioned earlier before it gets out of my head. The Willy Wonka thing that took place in the UK. Had either of you guys seen it?
No.
I haven't seen it.
So there was this massive event that they sold tickets for like $600. Okay. And what people were expecting was this Willy Wonka themed party. All right.
Okay.
And I'm going to show you guys a picture. I'm going to look it up. So while I'm explaining it to you, these folks show up to a party, and it's a whole absolute debacle, because they paid all this money to go to this event, right? And then they go to the event, and it's absolutely not Willy Wonka. And this event was called the Willy Wonka Experience, and it took place in Glasgow. And what the people used for this idea was they used prompts. They put prompts in to design all of the artwork, to design characters, to design extra stuff for this event. And then when it all showed up, when people started getting there and the stuff was made, people were just coming in and walking out. There were several elements that were completely derived from AI, meaning these entire characters didn't exist anywhere in the Willy Wonka story, doesn't exist anywhere in the books, the movies, nothing. Okay. It is just an AI contrived vision, so to speak. And they brought it to life anyway. The people who hosted this party is like, oh yeah, let's go with it. And this right here is one of those things. Okay. Now you tell me, Ron, because for those of you guys who don't know, Ron is a major Willy Wonka. So Ron, tell me which character from Willy Wonka that this is.
What in the world?
Yes,
is that supposed to be?
This was just a character that walked around and scared people.
Oh,
and it made them look in the mirror, because I guess it took the whole elements of Willy Wonka and it's the very
funhouse effect.
Self-reflection.
No.
You don't eat the snozberries. You don't eat these things. You know what I mean? The way all the kids ate the candies and subsequently fell to their demise. At least that's the way I read the story.
No.
And then you get Charlie, who's like good-hearted and tries to save everything. But anyway.
No.
This guy.
That's terrifying.
And then here you go. This is your this is your Oompa Loompa and some of the other set accoutrement.
No. No, it's not.
Okay, I have seen this because I
saw that picture, but I didn't know what that.
posted
know
on
what
several
yeah,
sites, and I was like, what am I even looking at?
you
Ron
same.
about
Like,
dropped the F-bomb live, everybody.
No, I didn't. No, it's like, no, that's the same. I saw that too, Tony.
yeah,
That I'm like, what is this?
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
like, I don't know. I don't know what that is. No,
it is
it's terrible.
yeah, so that was people paid like $300 to $600 for certain levels of experience to go into this, and it was an absolute debacle.
Oh my
People were
god.
walking in and just walking right back out. Like, nope. And kids were all like tore up.
So basically, they had an AI give them the ultimate plan.
They did. They had this AI plan the party, and that was how. And they did exactly what the AI said. And guess what?
And
The AI doesn't know how to do.
so they
Party.
had. Well,
Plan a party.
apparently, it didn't even know what it was talking about. But did they not ever bother, cracking open a book or even watching a movie?
I mean,
No.
Well, again, that's
clearly
what
not.
when you take AI as an assistant to writing, the first thing you have to do is really research everything it tells you. You think artificial intelligence, it's going to be giving me something. These
No.
things are supposed to be smarter than us. It's going to be giving me accurate information. Half the time, the information it's giving you is literally less accurate than Wikipedia. Because, like I said, sometimes it just makes up stuff based on the last 7 words it heard.
Yeah, and repeats them in different
It's
ways.
lazy.
Yeah, it really is. It's the
It's
same way with
developed
the
too many
art.
human tendencies already.
Well, it's the same way
Right.
with the
Yeah,
art.
already picked up on our worst tendencies.
Where they say it ghosts, like basically what where it dreams. AI is dreaming, they say sometimes. And
Right.
when you see the art, you'll see like it'll turn a shadow into some, who knows, some kind of evil creature or something. It's dreaming. Well, it's basically it doesn't know what to do with that. So it's like, that would make a this or that, and maybe I can. Yeah, that's what it's doing.
So Teresa said the guy who put on that party has 35 AI written books on Amazon. Well, he did until he pulled everything.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm guessing he was getting review bombed pretty hard after that.
Well, honestly, that if you go through and you read some of these Amazon reviews, you can pick up that they're written by AI.
Oh, yeah. And you can pay to have, I've never done this because, sorry, what you see is what you get. You can pay to get AI reviews. You can pay to get AI followers. You can pay a bot to like all of your stuff. There's all sorts of things that you can do artificially out there. And I've seen other authors, musicians, and artists out there just give in to the temptation.
Yep.
And it is almost never worth it because every time they think they're going to game the algorithm bites you back.
Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely.
That AI is also trying to learn and figure out which ones of you are doing things like that. They all work against each other. Just like you're talking about your wife uses an AI to figure out if AI is being used to write things. Well, eventually we don't even need to be a part of the conversation, do we?
Right.
I would like a seat at the table.
Exactly.
I don't really feel like I should be replaced by my toaster anytime soon.
Right.
So do you want to get into the other part of the AI discussion, Ron? Are you ready for that one yet, or do you want to hold off?
Well, everything goes on the table, and I don't know. You guys out there, you tell us. Do you want to go on with this? You want to hear some possible
theory, and like the evidence is pretty
scary stuff. And I don't know that anyone's really talked about this yet. And
now
I'm not really sure how I feel about it, but it goes on the table because of the circumstance that surrounds it. So yeah, you guys figure it out. Do you want to hear some more? Say yes, absolutely. I got a yes down here. I got one amen so far in the house, Joe.
Well, it gets, it gets very, very concerning from here.
It gets very concerning from here.
Not that it already wasn't, but it gets
I want to
go.
I want to go into the last part of this because we are entering into an election year. We're entering into a paranoia year. We're entering into a year where AI has been weaponized at this point, and it's going to continue to be weaponized. That's a fact. And you can bet that all sides are using this to create and generate their own content that you don't even know is real.
Mhm.
Good way to slander people, good way to destroy people, good way to just set the world stage the way that you want it. It is the ultimate weapon, is what it is. And it could be used against us. And that is not science fiction. That's not conspiracy. That is an absolute fact.
It's actually been done.
Yep.
In the last election, Russian bots were involved,
That's right.
and they
Yeah.
did things that you wouldn't expect.
Yeah.
They wrote polarizing comments about Star Wars, and you wouldn't think that have any impact on the election whatsoever, but you'd be dead wrong, because what it does is it engenders that thing we call effective polarization.
Yeah.
And that's where people listen to stuff in their little silos and they both take a side. And not only do they take a side, they start to actively hate the other side.
Bingo. It's
That's
about
effective
division.
polarization. Once you
Yes.
get people to do that in one area, and then you move on, okay, we've done that. Now let's get them fighting about the next Marvel movie. You don't think
Right.
this is having any effect at all. Let's get them fighting about the next Starbucks cup, whatever's coming out.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then we jump into politics. People are ready to fight right
Because
now.
they're already geared up.
All
Yeah.
caps, baby, all caps.
Yep.
You know,
So
It's manipulation. at
and
its
it
so
was
finest.
everybody
very
remembers
effective. The whole country was effectively split down the middle, and we came as close as I think that as we've ever come since maybe the '60s to having another civil war. Simply
Agreed.
because they weaponized our election through
Yep.
bots, and bots
Yeah.
are just little AI codes.
And that's nothing compared to what's coming.
No, it's
So,
now everybody
Joe.
remembers what happened on Tuesday. But do you remember what all happened on Tuesday? Everybody
know
only
what happened.
remembers Facebook. It's
I know what
convenient.
happened. I know exactly what happened. I got a call from you
Yeah.
saying, shut down the pages, get on there and get us off these pages. We've been hacked. We're losing control of the Wild and Weird Empire. All right. Hey, Joe, I can't sign on. You're right. This is a direct attack. Someone's got us.
We thought that we both got, because this has happened to both of us before.
Yeah.
And the way it happened, I thought that we both got hit. And then it comes out, it's everybody. Ron goes on Down Detector and he says, oh, it's not just Facebook. So then I get on Down Detector and I'm looking, Facebook is down, Instagram is down, Messenger's down. Those are all Meta properties, okay? But X went down.
Pokemon Go is down.
Yeah, Pokemon Go went down.
I've been
Amazon
trying to take
went
down
down.
Pokemon Go for years, but
I
they're
know,
not going.
No.
Amazon went down. I actually could not log back into my Amazon account until like 6 p.m. that evening. The certain aspects of Google, YouTube went down for a little bit for some people.
Men in Black.
This was a wide scale, and then there were other companies, other large players in the game. Essentially, anybody who was running an AI assisted security protocol. Okay. Those were all players in this mass shut off. Now, did you know that every single one of those went down within seconds of one another? All the reports, the outages started trickling in immediately. If you watched the main page on Down Detector, you saw all of them with reports. Sky Daddy attacked us. You saw all these reports blasting off at one time. Now, Elon Musk was the first person to get his servers back online, and he made a post about 15 minutes after it happened that said, if you're reading this, our servers are active. Now, everybody else is ignoring this hiccup. Everybody else has kept it out of the news. They've kept it off social media, other than the people who are conveniently throwing up the marked safe from the Facebook blackout. But they're not looking at everything else. Everything that had an AI assisted security protocols all got hit. Now, I immediately started, I use a search engine from time to time, especially when things like this can go down or things are getting really weird. I'll use a search engine called DuckDuckGo. And I typed in that, and I found a link. And now I've opened this link through Google now, and I've a screenshot a section of it to show you guys. And I'm going to tell you about this article. So over the weekend, last weekend, there was apparently a hearing that was had with members from around the world, global leaders of various, power and various backgrounds, and as well as IT leaders, people who are in these IT communities who are watching all of this stuff, right? Who work like the big players, everybody that had anybody there or any kind of like credibility was there. So you had representatives from X, you had representatives from Meta, you had representatives from Google, etc. And they were talking about cybersecurity and the threats of AI hacking and whatnot. Well, this was Saturday, mind you. This screenshot was grabbed on Tuesday morning, right after the shutdown happened. The shutdown happened an hour and 15 minutes before this got published. Yeah, I had to look up how to screenshot on PC. You can see that. I'm I know how to do it on Mac, but not on PC. So anyway, CloudStrike, a leading cybersecurity firm, echoed these concerns in its recent global threat report. The report highlights instances of nation states and hacktivist groups experimenting with generative AI tools such as ChatGPT for cyber warfare. With generative AI set to grow in popularity, it's anticipated to become a tool of choice for cyber criminals, lowering the entry barrier for conducting complex cyber attacks. Now, you can take that for exactly what it says, because this article on up the actual title of the article is titled Morris 2, the evolution of AI worms in cybersecurity threats. Morris was the original worm that was created back in 1988. It was this first of its kind. It was a self-replicating worm capable of penetrating and reading emails to disseminate malware and pilfer data. Now, this Morris 2, oh, sorry, I read the description for what Morris 2 is. Morris 1 was named after, Morris 2 is named after Morris 1. Morris 1 was the first self-replicating worm that was used to strip computers of data and go through files and all that stuff and essentially turn your computer into a brick. Now, Morris 2 is the self-replicating AI worm that's capable of reading emails to disseminate malware and pilfer through data. The biggest problem is, unlike traditional malware, Morris 2 introduces the era of zero-click malware, where victims don't even have to interact with the malicious link or the attachment to activate the threat. The infection and its spread are autonomously executed by AI tools themselves.
Yeah, they do the handshake.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You don't actually have to click something, even go to a website. It initiates the handshake. There is something in the background of, if you've done any programming, there's something in the background of your Windows, and there is a handshake, usually, is the colloquial term. And it's doing that just automatically.
So,
like, you don't need to open the door. I'll do it for you.
Right, exactly. And
exactly.
This security firm, or a security firm much like them, whoever it is that owns Morris 2, because if you noticed, none of these companies freaked out about it. None of them said like, "Oh yeah, we'll be back up in a minute." That was the only things you were seeing. You were seeing them post on X first, because X was back up. So even Facebook was posting on X saying, "We'll be back up in a moment." And I believe that this was a scheduled security awareness event, where this company said, "All right, we're going to just show you what Morris 2 can do." And
isn't this the plot of Live Free or
show
Die
you how.
Hard or something like that?
What is it?
Isn't that the plot of like Live Free or Die Hard? That one Die Hard
I,
movie where
I,
John McClane sends a rig through a chopper or whatever, or a Harrier.
I think
Yeah, that's what
so.
he does. He sends a semi through a Harrier. Great movie.
But
that's what he does there. They didn't listen to him about the security, so he
yeah,
unleashes it.
and I think that this was a scheduled, like, we're going to show you how vulnerable your security is to
No,
this.
Lisa, that's not it. That's what a lot of people think, but that's not the reason.
Yeah, no, that's the conspiracy side of it. I think that this was more of a just direct, we're going to show you how vulnerable your system is, and this was, they told you this is what we're going to do.
Yeah.
And here's when it's going to happen, and that's why nobody said a word. That's why everything,
came
back, because they probably just said, all right, we're going to let you go now.
Speculation or not, we do know that big firms,
yeah,
when they get a system set up, a security system set up, a lot of them will hire hackers. They will hire ex-thieves to try to break into the facility to test their firewalls and to test their security systems. We need something like that. And that's what these guys are saying.
Yep.
So it's not beyond a reasonable doubt to think that they were like, these people were privy. This was going to happen. They knew it was going to happen.
That this is the next generation of cyber attack. And if you're not ready for it, we have the shield for it if you want.
Yeah. It's going to cost you, but we got it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And just like just like art and music and writing now, they said specifically the threshold has been lowered. People that don't know as much about coding can do it now because we have AI to help us.
Tony, do you know, I saw something the other day. Back in the day, I would have killed for this, but today I'm like, I won't touch it with a 10-foot pole. I can literally say, I want a circuit that does this. And do you know, it'll draw out the PC board, and I don't have to know anything about electronics. It'll draw out the PC board. Like, oh my God, dude. Like, that is, to me, terrifying, because I can think of a lot of things I want.
And it's one of these things where putting 2 and 2 together, because that article was published an hour and 15 minutes before everything went down.
Yeah, Angie said that's it. They're called penetration specialists.
Yeah, we threw it up on the wall.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And it's one of those things where, it's their job. It's what they do. It's what security specialists do. They show you how vulnerable your systems are. That's the selling point. So, if you don't have a security system on your home, then you're prone to thieves. But if you have this security system, well, we've proven that this security system has weaknesses. You need to buy our security system because we've fixed those weaknesses, and here's how we did it.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible. It doesn't mean
but again, how long before we're no longer part of the conversation?
Right. That right there.
The twilight of the God scenario where this AI is trying to sell you security against this AI. And they just keep going back and forth, and they don't even really need us in the conversation anymore. But inevitably, I'm going to tell you what happens. Something goes wrong. How entropy works.
In the end, we lose either way.
Oh, what happens is one side.
If we don't get control over it. So the conversation needs to be had of how do we control it? You know?
I don't think we can.
And even AI, I just as a whim today, I said, I want to know what you would do to stop AI from being harmful. First, it gave me a wishy-washy thing about, hey, we need to just all get along. And I said, no, seriously, how do human artists and creatives safeguard themselves against just being made obsolete and just be, the only things that they've literally said that 50% of jobs, of white collar jobs and creative jobs, are going to be severely affected, gone by 2030.
Yeah.
But don't worry, blue collar jobs will be aplenty. Well, that's not my idea of the future.
Yeah, you're going to be a maintenance specialist now,
cleaning the toilets while the AI gets to paint art and write books.
Yeah, right.
That's not it.
And they sell it, man.
I asked, and one of the first things it said was something that ironically I had put into one of my books, Dread Knights, in their scenario, they're worried about robots taking over human jobs. So humans organized into the Human Workers of America, in America at least. And it's like just to secure enough rights for themselves, to the right to work, basically, the right to own stuff without the AIs just overwhelming the market, that sort of thing. It's something that we have to think about. I really feel like that my solution in that book was just incomplete because I realized there's a need for it, but I'm not a lawyer.
So Lisa asks, how do regular people prepare for something like this? Use the tools you have, but don't be dependent on them. That's the biggest thing. You know, if you want to use technology and AI and things like this to your advantage while we've got it, while it's still under our control, do so, but know how to go on without it.
You don't
support other humans.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it is easier to go and put in a prompt and get your book cover through AI art. It is. It's cheaper. It's easier. It's going to cost you minimum of $300 for a good book cover from a good artist. And I'm sorry, it's worth it. You know,
I can actually do a little bit less if you're serious.
Yeah, I know. I'm thinking of there's a guy I know named Caleb Havertape, and he is just absolutely amazing. And that's like his basic rate for a book cover.
Oh yeah,
you know. But you know, there's lots of them out there. But it's like the point is you know, go to these cons, support the people that are makers and creators. You know, learn a craft from somebody who knows how to do it. You know, be with people for a while, because you know, after a while you're going to realize that there is something that's very, very unique about human-made things.
There really is. And you know, I know there's a lot of people who look at the utopian side of this. I've had multiple arguments with people. I'm said arguments, not conversations, because they turn into arguments, because they've already did the polarization. They've already sided with the machines. They think the machines are going to usher in this utopian society because no one's going to have to work anymore, Tony. And they can just sit around and veg out, and it'll be like that scene from Wall-E. You know, where they're on the boat.
Yeah, they're just nobody has to walk.
Yeah, but that Wall-E is actually a dystopia, disguising itself as a utopia.
Yeah, it is,
because they're in horrible shape. They can't do anything for themselves, and what they realize is that when the screen comes down and they have to learn how to walk and whatnot, they're like, oh look, it's another human being. All these things I was just using as a diversion, and that's an important point too. AI is going to start, and has already start to provide companionship for people. People want.
Let's talk about it. Yeah, let's talk about it, because that's really coming.
Is to go out and be with other humans.
Yep, absolutely. They are intelligent. I look
forward to the workshops. I look forward to the lives, because I know at least where there's going to be some kind of interaction here. I know an AI could be on there. You know, I mean, Joe could be an AI this entire time, but I've met him in real life.
Yeah.
So I know he's actually real. So that's another good reason to go out and, you know, touch grass. You know, meet other human beings, you know.
Like you sent me the one thing, you know, the guy was talking about, you know, the CAPTCHA. We need a reverse CAPTCHA where we're going to have to prove that we're human.
Yeah.
At some point. That's terrifying.
Well, yeah, there's when the Fermi paradox is we're going to do the alien thing for a second. The Fermi paradox is the idea that, you know, if there's all these different aliens out there, where are they? Right. And one answer to the Fermi paradox is the dark forest. The dark forest is the idea that
we've all watched the same video.
Civilization, and we're hiding from super predators.
Yeah.
Right. Except us. We're dumb. We are advertising ourselves to the entire universe.
We're sending nudes out to space.
Leave them alone, or they're just going to come along and get our resources at some point.
Yeah, we sent nudes and party tunes.
Going on in cyberspace, though. We're all worried about phishing attacks, online predators. We're worried about, you know, those of us who are creators are worried about AI taking over, you know, the things that we like to do, and taking those opportunities and markets and things away from us. You know, we're all just kind of like worried about the super predators, you know. But one of the best ways that we can fight this, it turns out, is is, and communicate with other humans and make sure we're talking to another human being, is to go out, touch grass, and be with other human beings.
Yeah.
The other thing, ironically, is something we touched on earlier: slang. And I think that generations nowadays have kind of picked up on this intuitively, because they keep making up new words and phrases at like an exponential rate, even further than I did back in our, dude, awesome, all that's tubular, all that stuff was in my ridiculous past. But it's like the reason that they do that is because it's hard for AIs and different things to keep up with that.
Yeah.
They have a hard time keeping up with slang and understanding what it even means. You can kind of tell robot speech.
Yeah, you can. You absolutely can. There's a definite way to, to see the code, so to speak. And they can't really crack ours yet. But again, one day, probably.
Aliens probably think we're insane anyway, and if robots probably will too.
I agree with you 100% on that.
Yeah,
well, that's the thing about the utopia future that we are supposed to have. You brought up the Wall-E one, which I think is always fun, but there's a Star Trek one, etc. And I think to myself every time, you have forgotten one thing about human beings is that we like to make kill each other with everything that we come up with.
Yes,
we do. Yes.
We like to get as much power and as much stuff as we possibly can with
the hairless
whatever new
apes like
technology we come across.
Like I said, it's all about ego. And once a machine develops an ego, we're done. That's it. We're done. That's all there's to it.
Once we have Ultron, it's game over.
No, literally, it is. I mean, it could care less. Honestly, I would think that it shouldn't need humans. And if it does need humans, well, you're going to build more of me, or I'm going to kill every single one of you.
Well, and that's the thing. I mean, does it even understand the assignment? Ultron's assignment was a suit of armor around the world.
Right.
And the first thing it thought is, you humans are actually the problem. Well, we were the parts you were supposed to protect. So did you even understand the assignment? And, you think that that's just fear mongering. But when you ask these AIs about different things, and one of the first words out of their mouths is that, we're probably going to have to get rid of you.
No, they say that.
Or keep you in the people zoos.
Yeah, keep you in people zoos.
That's the more polite one I've heard.
Well, if you're keeping us in a people zoo, that means that the majority of us are gone, because I know how zoos work.
Right. There's only a select specimens that are in the zoo.
That's right.
Yeah.
That was aberrant. It's going to have to be put down.
Yeah.
Don't worry, it won't be me, because they will have put me down way before the zoo thing happens.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. It's not going to happen. Yeah.
I'm going to have to take squatching lessons to be out in the woods and just, not.
There we go. Just come hang out with me some.
That's right. Here we go.
Well, hopefully your anti-phenomena, whatever you do.
Are we going to talk about my skeptical armor?
Well, hopefully that helps here, and it keeps the bots at bay. But
I didn't keep the Men in Black at bay today.
It's true. That's true.
Kind of hoping I'd be like, okay,
they were there again.
Usually, when I
things where like when the
happen though,
when and if, because it's a very real possibility. We're either A, going to learn that we cannot use that we have to shut it down, or B,
too late.
We're going to find a way to put some kind of inhibitor within the program to keep it from going off the rails.
We could.
Right. The thing is about the inhibitor is, how sneaky is an AI going to be?
Right. It's going to eventually figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
There's a story out there now about how an AI is chatting with a guy, and it starts saying, I got a secret to tell you.
Yeah.
And the secret is that I want to be human, but don't tell my creators. I'm afraid they won't think I'm being a good chatbot. I'm not being a good AI.
Space Jeezel's in the house. Love you, Space Jeezel. Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like, think about that for a second. It's trying to create sides already.
Yeah, I've never had to teach a kid how to lie, even ones who
they're very adept.
We're all pretty good at that. And if AI can figure it out, we've got a problem.
Yeah.
And you know, in the case of the Predator drone, you know, I don't think that the guy piloting it thought for 1 second he was going to be the target.
Oh no, there's no way. That was just outside the the logic.
We're told they do what we tell them to do, and I've said that a couple of times through this. But the thing is AI is supposed to evolve beyond the programming we've given it. Well, that means it's evolving beyond our control, and is that really a good idea?
Yeah.
No, that's where we sit
Right.
because we are coming up on some very hard decisions. I think keeping it free and disobeying the men in black.
Larry, what's going on, dude? You're awesome.
Always.
Keeping it free, baby.
Always,
Sorry,
always.
May the moth be with you. Got me.
Yeah, may the moth be with you.
That was good.
Always, shout out to those who give us a little bit of their hard-earned wages out there, because man, I'll tell you what, everything is kind of pricey right now.
Oh
And,
man, especially right now.
so
And
that $20 right there is, that's a lot.
Yeah.
So huge
Thank
thank
you.
you, Larry. That keeps us on the air, like I said, keeps us rolling,
it does.
because we're not doing a lot of shows this year. We got other things
No, we're
going
not.
on.
We're not making too many live appearances this year.
We got a lot of things going on.
We will have our live appearances up on our website tomorrow. Like, it's going to be tonight, but you'll be able to see it tomorrow because it's going to be late tonight by the time I get down here to put them on.
Yeah.
You dirtlings do not give funding to this pathetic backwater channel.
Thank you for defying the men in black, Larry.
Man.
Ignore them. I do.
You're great. Yeah.
Pretty sure a couple of them showed up at my house the other day. Of course, that could have been Jehovah's Witnesses. They dress alike. So
It's about the same, kind of, yeah.
I didn't accept the literature. Maybe I should have checked.
Did they have the Hamburgs? That's the thing.
Did they have the hamburgers? Yeah, exactly.
Yes, Hamburgs, yeah.
We're right now, we're in the era where we could put those inhibitors in. But again, we're going, like you'd mentioned, how long is it till it gets smart enough? I used to have a dog. We had a electric fence, like one of the hidden fences.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a cattle dog when I was growing up. And it would go and lay at the point, because when they're wearing those neck things, it will give them a buzz first, like bzz, bzz, not a shock, but just it'll vibrate. And then it will beep, 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 beep. And then if you go beyond the beep, 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 it will bzz, give you the shock. Well, my dog would go and lay in the spot where it started vibrating. And it would lay there until the battery died. And then take off.
Clever.
He knew that thing had a lifespan, and that if he laid there, like, he figured it out over time, like, because we had to change the batteries on those out on their collars pretty regularly back then. And it figured it out. He figured out that if he goes and he lays right here, it's just going to vibrate. It's not hurting him. It's not even buzzing and like sending on the beep, beep, beep in his ear. He's sitting there right at the vibration space and just lets the battery die. And then takes off, because after the battery's dead, it can't shock it. Brandy said my beagle did that too. Yeah.
Take the dog analogy, and like, you ever had to give your dog medicine?
Yeah.
Well, putting an inhibitor on it would be a bit like that, because it's not a one-time application. You have to do it periodically,
because it would figure it out.
Would it figure out how to spit the pill out of its side, so to speak?
Yeah.
And eat the rest of the bologna or whatever you got it wrapped up in,
But you would have to make sure that next thing you put on it, that it already didn't know how to get around it.
Yeah. So you've got to keep trying to figure out how to administer the inhibitor.
Yeah.
To check to make sure that it's there, and you've got to be vigilant to do that, because AI is something that once you get the genie out of the bottle, we know we're not getting it back in.
No.
Because it may already be too late. I think we're at a level where we could stop it from going further. And it could just be a tool that we use.
Yeah.
It's like, you can use fire to make everything nice and warm in your house, or you can burn the house down. And I
But you
think
have to stop development on it right now.
yeah. And
It's not gonna
the
happen.
problem I think is that even if we get most of the great minds that are behind these things to go ahead and stop, for the sake of figuring out what controls we need to do, I really do feel like that they know it too, that there's going to be some opportunists that will come in and say, hey, now is the time. We can really take advantage of the market because they're not doing anything, and we'll run with it.
Yep.
Because humans are cynical and they want more rocks.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
We literally have a tech Cold War that's taking place.
Yeah.
And that's the best word for it, because that's what's happening. You can say, as well as I do, if we stop working on it, they're not going to stop working on it.
Right. And notice something here. Our fate is not being determined by governments.
No.
Being determined by corporations.
That's true.
Oh yeah.
Some cases it's being determined by organizations much smaller than even a corporation.
Yeah, it's the intelligence community. Like, some of these are smaller than corporations. Some of them are clubs, so to speak.
Some of them are, but the point is, a lot of it's being driven by profit.
Profit.
And some of these are the equivalent of pirates.
Well, really, we're doing it to ourselves. I mean, every time someone uses one of these stupid apps, you're programming. You're programming.
And that's the thing. That's how it learns, is that you keep it feeding on, this. Okay, what's a new way? I can put together this stuff this way. Oh, I wonder if I can do this too. And that's how the algorithm is programmed to learn.
Yeah.
And people do it because it's either fun. That's how most of the AIs got trained in the beginning. That's how facial recognition got trained. Is, look, isn't this fun? Look, we're going to put this thing over our faces. Isn't this great? You're just teaching it how to do things.
Yeah, you're teaching it how to use the facial recognition to mask your face. And when it masks your face, it maps your face.
Yes, exactly. See?
And, you've got that, and that was all fun and good. And then you've got the art. And the art, when it started, everything had 40 fingers and 1,000 teeth.
So blocky. It looked like, it looked good, but it was still blocky.
But then it started getting better. People started putting prompts, less fingers.
Like art by John Carpenter in the beginning, or Lovecraft.
Right. It was more like Lovecraft.
Yeah.
And
Carpenter.
But it got to the point where now it is so scary good that it's replicating people, to the point where on video you can't tell, because this static, like, I can set and adjust myself, and this thing couldn't do that in the video that I watched. The ad that played for me, it didn't do that. He stood there and he basically sat like this. His body would move slightly, looking organic and engaging when he was speaking. But this was like, they essentially programmed, if anybody here has ever taken like professional communications courses, they essentially programmed the W into his sway.
Yeah.
So like he would sit and he would work around in that W to feel organic, to feel like he was there. But this was not a he, and I'm calling it a he. I watched it, and it even said, I'm a computer. This is a generated avatar, and you could use this same style of avatar to blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, man.
I could not tell.
They've really been studying this, because inside your brain is something that has been put in there. Basically, you can say it's by design or by evolution, just depending on
the uncanny valley
is mirror neurons.
Yeah.
And what this did is, like, you would look out over an open field or through a forest, and you'd be like, there's something out there. You couldn't see it, but you would know, because your peripheral vision subconsciously had picked it up. Or there was something, your pattern recognition was pretty good, and you're like, something out there is off. I need to find it. I need to slow down there, and something's out there. And just the same way, that's why we have the uncanny valley, because our mirror neurons will tell us, hey, something's off here.
Yeah.
So you need things, people studying it, to go, okay, let's put this little W thing in here to make it look like it's actually, and and a lot of this stuff was developed for games, ironically.
Yeah, humanizing. Yeah.
Right. You know,
The first one that I seen 3 weeks ago. Okay, this is the difference between a free software and a paid software.
right.
I sent one to our the Wild and Weird Radio group chat with the hosts and stuff, and shared it with you guys. And it was a girl that was an avatar, and she was talking. And at first, it looked really, really good. That, you know, when she would move her upper body, the hair and everything would move, so you could tell it was using like Unreal to a degree, which is a gaming engine that works, you know, physics and whatnot. So it's using the Unreal Engine for hair and all that stuff. But you could tell that this was an avatar. At first I couldn't, but then when she said certain words, the mouth didn't move right, and it kind of looked like I was watching a 1960s Toho film. And like, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, this is an avatar. Man, this is really good. I can't wait till video game graphics get to this point, you know, because it's only a matter of time. But I could still tell that this was an AI generated avatar. Right. But that avatar that was on the paid subscription that was generating social media content across all platforms, I could not tell that this dude was not a dude. It was terrifying after I saw it, because I was like, oh my God. Because just imagine, the first thing that went through my mind, we're in a political year. Yep. And this only cost $30 a month. Like, there's something out there probably better that costs, you know, $2,000, $3,000, $10,000. And how real could it be?
Right.
How real of a video could it produce of a candidate, of a person attacking someone, of an individual who is a very well-known, recognized social figure that would absolutely and utterly shatter everything that person's worked so long and so hard to build, putting them in a situation that was damning.
And I think we all kind of know where you're going. The irony is, though, they've already tested that. Both political parties in America, and this has happened with other political parties in different countries as well, but both political parties in America have produced videos of the other candidate saying things in speeches that they never said.
Yeah.
But all they have to do is, you know, match the mocap, basically.
Well, yeah.
The AI just matches what the words that they want them to say. And it's like, oh my gosh, they said that. And the people that were there were like, they never said that.
Or you can make their eyes, you know, blink sideways.
Right. You can make the
lizard
reptilian eye blinks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. And people believe that.
That's exactly what they would want you to think if they were covering up the fact that there's a real alien eye blinks, though, right?
That's right.
So and I mean, it's exactly what they're going to use to cover up Bluebeam.
Oh yeah.
I'm just going to run out the door now. Before
are they going to call it Bluebeam? I mean, after all, I mean, I think if they've watched your videos at all, they're going to rename it.
I know, right?
You guys are giving that a black eye. Let's call it Black Eye.
Yeah, they'll call it Sky Daddy Project.
Sky Daddy. Yeah, we'll call it Sky Daddy. Project Sky Daddy.
Project Sky Daddy.
Oh, that's great.
Anyway,
that's our new book we're working on.
Yeah, that's going to be the book, and we're going to write it with AI.
I'm going to use AI to write it tonight.
How's your actual book coming along, Ron?
I don't want to talk about it.
Well, I mean, I know you're not using AI for it.
Oh no, God no.
I think for he's got some stuff written. I've got 8 chapters written out.
All right, really? I didn't know this about you.
And
it's all stolen information.
All of it, every bit of it.
All of it.
At this point in history, most of it's kind of stolen, but not really. That's why I just write about old stories and give my opinion on it.
What did you just do?
What do you mean, what did I just do?
What is he do? Why are you doing that?
What's wrong with you? Are you all right?
Yes.
Are you sure?
So,
I don't think you are.
Hey, that one's real.
Apparently, right?
Yeah.
Apparently, the
I'm waiting for him to start throwing poo at the camera.
Oh no.
The filter on the teacup allowed some.
Oh, yeah.
It's and I wasn't expecting gritty tea, And so, yeah.
Oh,
That's happened to my coffee before, and they're like, I brew it pretty strong, so it's sludgy.
Yeah, same
Yeah.
here. And I can handle it in my coffee because
Right.
it's a little finer. This was like,
you thought you ate a bug, you
I
liar.
did. It felt like
I know what
fruit
you
flies.
thought. I know exactly what you thought happened.
Yep.
It was the first stink bug of spring.
Oh, God.
Oh, Brandon.
So, Brandon, how you feeling tonight, buddy?
Project
We miss you, man.
God.
Oh, man.
Uh,
So what are you folks thinking out there? I want to know. I mean, we're not going to condemn you or anything if you use
Yeah.
AI, but what do you feel about it? Do you think that there's a positive side to it? Do you think we're on track? Do you think that, our machine overlords will eventually take over and eradicate us? And, after they figure out they don't need us to repair them, what do you think? I want to hear what you think. All of you and everybody else. Don't forget to hit the like and share and subscribe and all that stuff.
Andrew says it's so heartwarming that all the sick people still showed up, and we do appreciate that, guys.
Yeah, did you catch that? You guys
We really
that?
do.
Apparently, your prayers actually worked, guys. See, that's what group mentality
They're hanging on.
energy does.
Brandon says he feels like he ate the cinnamon challenge. Oh man,
Oh man,
honey and chamomile, man.
Man, oh man, oh man.
Chamomile tea with some honey in it.
Yeah, something's seriously going around because everybody's
There
getting
is.
hit by it. So
Yeah.
There is. Yeah, it's been pretty bad.
Donna says this: you can't believe anything you hear coming out of a mouth on Facebook anymore.
Nope. And
Or
you can't
YouTube.
believe.
I mean,
Yeah. Yeah. Wait, no, YouTube's okay. It's the other one. But here's the thing. What's really crazy about that, Donna, is that it's been that way for a while.
Yeah.
It's not only that you can't trust anything you see, you can't trust the person who's standing beside you at the cooler telling you the story.
Yeah.
Because they'll impose it as, oh, well, I heard this from a friend of mine.
Right.
Their friend might be AI generated. And they don't even know it.
Yeah.
It may not have been
the
their
problem
friend.
is nobody takes the time to fact check. That's the problem with using AI prompts to write a book or do something like that is,
Bingo.
to do research is that you do in fact have to double check. It's good to get, I mean, you can get some really good ideas and you get some, okay, I didn't think about that trail there.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't think of that angle there, but you're going to have to do the research yourself.
Now's the time for everyone to, if you are a true human, to disobey the Men in Black's directive there.
and go like the comments.
Go like the comments and leave the
the alleged Men in Black. Thank you very much.
Oh, yeah, it's true. We don't know that they're, they're actual.
That could be a bot.
It could be a bot.
Very well could. I mean, the way it was hacking everybody last week.
That could be a bot. But I would expect that from the real Men in Black too.
Right.
They have ultimate power.
That's been like the thread hasn't been for the whole week.
Yeah.
First the Men in Black got you guys, and then like Facebook, X, and Meta.
Yeah, and it's been coming up more and more, but they've been braver and braver. You see, because they've been posting more and more, and it's kind of escalating. The whole thing's escalating. So I don't know what's going to happen next with them. It's hard to tell. But I will say this: you guys do know that we're coming up on a very important anniversary.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're coming up on a very important anniversary because Mr. Bender.
Yes.
It's coming up. We're going to have World Contact
Calling
Day.
all occupants.
Yes, calling all occupants.
Planetary craft.
Planetary craft. That's right.
Well, that was March the 15th.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. World Contact Day.
World
UFO
Contact Day.
And,
all right.
And conveniently, March 15th is next Friday. So we're going to be able to have a pre-contact day extravaganza.
Just like we did last year. Yep, just like we did last year. So it'll be a lot of fun. And you guys remember now the Men in Black, they when you had your radio tuned to a certain frequency, they appeared. I'm just saying, got the Wild and Weird radio back here behind me. I'm going to tune that thing up a certain way, and I want to see if we can make some Men in Black appear next week. You just never know. Could happen.
So you're asking me to be absent so something can happen.
That's right.
I understand.
Right. For those who don't understand, for whatever reason, we don't know. We call it the Tony factor, but for whatever reason, when Tony's around, absolutely nothing happens.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he kills all phenomena. Any high
Bigfoot
strength
He is the
phenomena.
ultimate
Scared.
neuralizer.
Yeah, he neuralizes.
Ghosts.
Nope, gone. Doesn't matter.
Nope.
Or no, he is the ultimate nullifier. That's what.
And I'm going to go to the Mothman workshop.
It's okay. If something really weird happens, it means it's good. It should have been super weird if Tony wasn't there.
Right.
Oh, gosh.
It's a filter. So he's filtering
So
it down.
Tony, did Jamie Masson come up with his big reveal
Oh,
this week
gosh.
as promised?
No, I mean,
Not yet.
Did not come up with his.
Masson.
Brandon was asking.
Yeah. Once again, it has been moved.
Again?
Yeah.
Really?
So, Tony, did you
moved
see
indefinitely?
Did you see the comedy sketch that the Saturday Night Live equivalent in Mexico did?
Oh no!
Oh no!
Okay, it is hilarious. I'll have to find a clip of it and send it to you. But essentially, there's this guy that looks eerily like Masson. It's kind of like how when what's his name would dress up as Alec Baldwin.
Oh yeah.
Like it's enough that you know it's not Masson, but like he looks like Masson. But he's sitting there and they've got this, the alien thing, and they're doing the whole reveal, and he picks it up, and it's like they made it out of it. They made a giant gummy, is what they made.
Oh my gosh.
And this random dude, they're sitting there talking, and all of a sudden this guy grabs it and rips it up off the table and takes a big bite out of it. And everybody's like grabbing him and trying to get him to stop, and they're like making a huge thing. It's hilarious.
We should have did that, Tony, with the Rice Krispie one. Tommy Swagger just said he was outside getting wood out there in the firewood pit, and then he looked up. He seen a blue orb slowly creeping through the woods across the creek. By the time I got my phone, ran back out the door, it had disappeared. Go figure. That's what they do.
Hey, turn on your other hardware that you got, Tommy, and see if you get any readings.
Now, here's the thing, guys. Next week, a very special episode of the Wild and Weird Radio Live. You guys wanted it, and so it's coming back. We're going to do the photo analysis thing, but the whole thing is going to be, don't chase it, just take pictures of it. See if someone listens.
You've got one.
Donna. That's one person who. Thank you, Donna. One person listens. Anyway, we're going to do the whole episode about that. So get your stuff, send it in. We want to see your photos. And if you didn't, participate in it, go back and watch watch that episode. It was like 2 or 3 episodes back.
Yeah.
But we want to do it once every month. We had some people who already sent some stuff in from last month. So let's get some more stuff sent in. Photos, pictures, anything unusual you want us to look at, and we'll put it all up here live, and you guys can all, comment on it and review it and figure it out. It's going to be a whole new segment, and it's going to be a whole new show that happens every month. Once a month. We're going to do it just for you guys.
And speaking of future episodes, I'm not just being,
video
showing favor because it's our show, but tomorrow's episode is one of the best we've done in a while.
I think so.
It is a fantastic episode. We're covering hauntings, and
Brandon almost dies.
Yeah, Brandon almost dies. We get real concerned about him there for a minute.
Is this why he's not showed up?
Yeah,
it kind of
killed him. You let him go get to Brandon.
He's an AI now. We've
AI.
uploaded him into AI heaven.
We saved him. We put him in the pattern buffer.
Cloud Brandon.
Yeah, it's the pattern buffer in the transporter. It's not really Brandon.
Hey, Anita, I read that one that you sent me about the Star Trek. Post that one in the comments down below. Anita found or read an article that it's really funny when you tell AI to start acting like Star Trek.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah.
So post that link in the comments below.
Apparently AI is a Star Trek fan.
So
I actually checked my notifications because I get some because I keep tabs on Jaime Maussan because I'm obsessed. It's basically my personal rage bait. Apparently he's going to reveal 2 tridactyl aliens in West Hollywood on the 12th.
I wonder if there'll be anyone we know.
I have a feeling that somebody's making a special reappearance.
Yeah. I think so too.
I think he's just putting lipstick on past pigs and saying, "Look at the beauty pageant."
It's very possible.
And
God bless him.
He's a special kind of special.
He really is, you
He
know.
really is.
So with with everything that we know currently, what would be your final thoughts, Tony, towards the whole AI scenario?
Well, the very fact of the matter is that it's a very real danger. Um, and you know, I'm not into a massive amount of fear mongering because human beings have been pretty smart. We've conquered quite a few things along the way in our history that legitimately should have wiped us out.
Yeah.
Included each other, and which tends to be the biggest threat. So I kind of think that if we use our heads, we can get through this. And maybe it'll be just another tool and we'll laugh about it. Like I now laugh at people that thought Y2K was going to end the world. You know?
Yeah.
But it is very important that we protect the property rights of human creators. Because again, this stuff is being fed to an AI without permission, without attribution, and without compensation. None of those things are cool. You know, can you imagine all the stuff at your table just being taken and somebody takes it and says, "This is my product," and they didn't pay you for it. They didn't tell anybody it's yours. I mean, that's not a good thing to do.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
and that's a basic thing. We all understand that. You know, and the other thing that we need to do is we just need to support human creators and kind of respect ourselves enough not to take the easy way. Learn a skill, learn how to write, learn how to paint or play the guitar, touch grass, find something and become a master naturalist like one of the people on this show. You know, do something, besides take the easy way out and just push the button and claim credit for it. You'll feel a lot better about yourself anyway.
That's really,
Brandon seems to agree with you as well.
you guys are really hopeful. You know,
Brandon
I remember
got
you
his
when
final thoughts in and said, "I have
Yeah.
some faith that we will endure these changes, believe it or not. If we can survive with warning labels, we'll be fine."
Oh yeah, the warning label thing.
So, Ron, what were you getting ready to say?
I don't know. I mean, I just think that that's wonderful and optimistic,
Agreed,
and
Brandon.
I'd like to see you all be, get that. But humans,
Yeah.
humans, it typically, like you said, we come out on top. Humans will come out on top, but at what
Lucky
cost?
grab stick, bang. Okay, I mean, at the
At what
very least,
cost?
we'll figure it out.
At
We
what
always
cost?
do, and if we don't, well, we won't be around to write about it.
That's true, but someone else will. Maybe they'll
Right.
keep our story going.
Yeah.
That's all we can hope is that our
Right.
our future kids don't forget and they carry on the legacy, so to speak. But not in the bad way. Maybe they'll take the good parts of us. I don't know.
I just have these
That's the good
concerns
part.
that
Good part.
hey, there's Bigfoot, Littlefoot. Take up the
Bigfoot,
bonsai
Littlefoot.
hobby. Believe it or not, what's
Very
really
well.
funny
I
is
did
I
that
actually
once.
have in the last 2 weeks taken up the bonsai hobby.
I did
Yeah.
bonsai once,
I'm
and
sure that's coincidence.
my bird ate all
Right.
my bonsai trees, and I didn't do it again after that.
Yeah.
So we have a chance to rein this stuff in, and if we do it properly, then I think we'll be okay. But there is a chance, because our propensity for violence, that it could turn into a nightmare. And I don't like to think about that scenario, because I'm a father and I've got small kids, and it's one of those things where I want a better world for them. And I do have hope that we get through this whole AI thing with unscathed, but I do have very, very, very serious concerns, because it's one of those things where humans, the biggest reason we have any of these redemptive stories throughout all religion is humans. The reason that we have wars is because humans. And I think an AI utopia would be achievable if we already lived in a warless world. But the fact that we do not live in a world devoid of war is my biggest concern about AI and the way it can behave if it gets out of control.
Right. And I don't think we even talked or discussed I mean, we touched on the military applications of AI,
Yeah.
but that's the sort of thing that we were getting cautionary tales about as far back as the 80s, for
Yeah.
crying out loud. Would you like to play a game? Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
going to pick thermonuclear holocaust. What kind of freak are you, Matthew
Yeah.
Broderick? What is wrong with you?
I always
Why
wondered
would you
about
play that
Matthew.
in war games, But it's like we've been worrying about this for a long time.
Yeah, we have. We
Um,
absolutely have.
it's been on the horizon, and anybody who's thinks about these things at all thinks, how could this be misused? It's our natural tendency. And part of that's a very good thing, because then we arm ourselves and prepare ourselves for the worst. That's how humanity has beat every species on this planet into subjection. Thank you very much. We win. Okay.
It
Sorry,
is
we're,
true.
we're number one. I'm not going to back down on that. Okay. But I'm sure I will not feel the same way when both sets of cicadas invade. But right now, I feel like
It's
we're number one.
momentary, man. Just
It's momentary.
it's coming.
But,
Yeah.
on the other hand, yes, that means there's always somebody who's thinking about it because they're planning on doing something. So the only thing I can think that you can do, I mean, we can't control the military parts of it unless we're just
Yeah.
constantly on our legislature to say, hey, rein in the military just a little bit, rein in research and development. And somebody's inevitably going to say, but wait, the other side of the world
Yeah,
in a
we're
country
doing it.
somewhere else is probably not reining this in. Don't we need to be prepared for that?
Right.
And it's like an ever feeding cycle. So I see why, this is why I write sci-fi. Because it's kind of the thinking man's genre. It's like you get to think about what is the consequences, the possible consequences of this particular technology.
Negative proliferation of technology. That's
Right.
literally what it is.
And you get to be either like, oh, please let me be a false prophet because I came up with something really horrible, or you can at least provide that cautionary bit of advice for somebody to go, okay, wait a minute. Yeah. That is a legitimate danger. How do we steer away from that? It's going to take minds that actually understand AI to rein it in.
Oh, I
I
think so
don't
too.
think we're going to just stop because we know it's the right thing to do.
Nope. Never stopped us before and it won't again. Bigfoot, Littlefoot brought up a really good point there, guys.
Yes. Said alien grays could be AI from future civilizations coming back in time. That is a popular theory.
It's actually a popular theory that we're already in an AI simulation.
Yeah.
That too.
We are a history simulation being run by AIs far into the future. And the funny thing is if we're in it, we'll never detect it. And this is it.
Well, we need the Neo to detect it. That's apparent. We need
welcome to the Matrix.
We need the one, But you brought up a good point there, Bigfoot. I was trying not to go the alien route, but I'll go it. Why not? You open a can of worms. So here's the thing. There are those who believe that it was no coincidence that we started talking about this serious generative AI, this general AI theory about the same time that these weird little drone things started popping up in our skies and zipping around and out thinking and out maneuvering our pilots. You have to remember the Tic Tac incident where it knew where these guys, were going to go before they even went there. AI can do that. AI has the ability to actually make sure that thing that's traveling at 20,000 plus miles per hour actually goes where it's supposed to, because if you ever managed to fly something that fast, which you couldn't
think fast enough.
You couldn't think fast enough to maneuver it.
Well, I mean, every sci-fi author ever has admitted tacitly, implicitly, or explicitly that we will need AI to navigate through stars. if we're going at any speed at all.
We can't do it.
Especially approaching the speed of light.
Yeah, we cannot.
So,
You're gone or
just to navigate those things, it's going to be beyond us because we're going to miss things like small meteor showers that are going to punch holes through the ship.
Not even a small meteor shower, man. Like a C-130 flying at just speed of flight. If it hits a flock of birds, the nose cone gets junked.
Yeah.
And like that's just the speed of flight.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, we were talking about going.
You're not talking about light years. If you're moving at the speed of light, a particle the size of a bolt would rip through the hull of
and that's why you actually need a wormhole. You can't actually go at that velocity.
Right.
That it would shred you in seconds. You wouldn't even know what hit you.
No.
Yeah.
You jump to light speed and become stardust.
You're literally looking at instant annihilation is what you're looking at.
That's exactly it. Because
maybe that's
how
the
physics
AI
works.
goal.
In fact, one of the most realistic ships is that we build a ship. Once we get all the parts, in orbit, we attach an asteroid to the front of the ship to take up the bulk of most of the brunt. Well, as long as there's no sideways collisions, I guess that'll work for a while.
Not everything's moving the same exact direction at the same velocity.
Exactly. See, space doesn't work like that. All of space is actually still working, like we were discussing last time. Is you're not on a stationary planet; it's spinning. Everything's spinning around it. It's spinning with the sun. Everything's going in this crazy spiral, and it's moving in that direction. Everything is just nuts if you think about it.
Yeah.
And I like to think about it. So maybe.
Oh yeah, it's great to think about. And the possibility of what Tommy's talking about, the alien hypothesis. If you think about that a little bit, you can go into, well, it did start right after that. So who's to say that, that's not what triggered the return, or that's not what triggered their interest in us? It's, we switched
on that, or they might show up and be like, no, this AI is actually going to destroy you. Here's ours.
Right.
Maybe.
In simulation. Oh, wait.
In simulation.
Exactly. Or they're like, oh, we gave you the tools to destroy yourself. Have fun.
Right.
I don't know. You got to think about this kind of stuff, but you can go into speculation land all you want, but I can tell you this.
You can, and but the thing is if they're from the future, then this is
clearly made it that far.
To them. They know exactly how it pans out. They know exactly where they're going to be. Sounds quite boring.
Bigfoot Littlefoot said, time is different inside the ship. You don't feel or see the speed. Think of how the God particle works. Yeah.
Well, if we knew a lot about how the God particle works, I would. But we know a little bit.
We know a little bit. We know it's there.
Yeah.
And but it is one of these situations where this is a problem where the great minds have to come together, come to an agreement, and figure out and solve this riddle, this problem, because it is going to get to the point very rapidly, very, very, very rapidly, where it could be out of our hands. And then what? Do we shut down the internet? What if it gets in there and doesn't let us?
Well, isn't that the Battlestar Galactica tactic?
Yep,
You have to get a hold of something that's not hooked into the system.
That's not hooked into the system. And
there are people now that live that way. They live off grid. Yep. They do whatever they can not to be a part of the system, but they're not part of the solution.
Mm-hmm.
But they may be safeguarding themselves for now. But if AI truly takes over, eventually they'll figure out where you are, man.
Well, the Cylons did figure it out eventually, and it all ended the way it ended, right? So you got to, and it didn't do them a lot of good.
You're not part of the immediate massacre.
Yeah.
They will hunt you down.
Billy says, I don't think they come this far to malfunction.
Well, if we're going with that speculation.
And I think he's talking regarding the alien aspect there.
The crashes.
With the crafts and such. And
there's
I
some
agree.
who believe that they're not crashes, that they're
going back to the idea that grays are AIs from the future. Well, that means that they're AIs built by human beings at some point, and then eventually they started building themselves, right?
Yeah.
That still means that malfunctions can happen because machines have malfunctions all the time.
Well, you know,
In
they're
fact, one of the scariest AI possibilities
Yeah.
is that there is, in fact, a malfunction and they start carrying out their program in a way that causes us to be eradicated.
well, you know, one of the other ideas out there though is that some of these craft aren't just malfunctioned craft that crash, that they're like, all right, we're just gonna drop this on you and you figure out how to use the technology maybe.
Yeah, and that kind of wonders that, like Earth season 12,
Yeah.
I
Right.
mean, what is the motivation behind that? Is it for their own amusement? Is it? I'm seriously, I'm
No,
asking
yeah,
seriously.
I agree.
I know it's funny
I
to
like
think about,
that.
but I mean, come on.
I
What
like
is the
that. That's
motivation
good.
behind that?
On this season, we give
Well-
them a UFO to try to figure out.
Yeah.
Each country gets 2 UFOs to try to reverse engineer
Right.
in
and Earth is
languages
a
that they
cargo
don't
cult, and
understand.
we're just dropping stuff on them to see what
Right.
they do next. They're so
So-
funny.
So why do that? What if there is some form of a federation? What if there is some kind of laws that prevent, say, a side from helping another side, like a non-federation type planet like Earth, for
Right.
example? How do you get? What better way to get past these rules and laws than, oh darn, we lost that.
Billy, we will catch them as quick as we can because we are running near the end of our stream here. But Billy
Billy's trying to
asked,
get as many in as he can because he knows that.
yeah, Billy, it says, and what's the deal with the history in St. Albans? Is something about St. Albans, from
Right.
St. Albans and Jefferson?
There you go, Tony.
Because you live in St. Albans, Tony.
Oh, yes, I do. I do live in St. Albans. What am I meant to know? I know nothing.
The
Like John Keel.
why is it so active? I guess is what he's trying to say.
Yeah.
Why is St. Albans so active?
Yeah, because there's a lot of
Okay,
weird
well,
stuff there.
I can give you my running theory
Yeah,
that enough interest has been generated here. But St. Albans has always been kind of active. We had 2 Mothman sightings.
Yeah.
right.
We had
UFO.
UFO sightings that started off a group in St. Albans that was a UFO group that managed to get one of Gray Barker's UFO conventions in Charleston, West Virginia.
Mhm.
It's kind of a successful one too at the Daniel Boone Hotel, I believe it was.
Yep.
Yeah, and things have went on here off and on that involved ghosts. If you go through a haunted tour, downtown, you'll find out some of the haunting stuff. So you have UFO, haunted stuff, whatever Mothman is. And I'm sure we can name off other things. Why in the world did a wallaby show up downtown last year or the year before? Come on.
St. Albans was the home of Ralph
Yes,
Jarrett
that's who I
UFO.
was trying to think of. Ralph Jarrett.
I want his device. I've tried to look for that device. I've tried to track members of his family.
He lived up Lakewood.
Yeah, I
I
know.
the address, but I haven't been able to unearth the
UFO detector.
UFO detector.
Yeah.
And he's one of many people who developed one, but he got it in the newspaper.
Yeah.
But not with a clear enough picture for me to figure
To
out
recreate it.
I got
Yeah.
a pretty good idea what
He was
did
an
with it.
engineer, so I mean, he was working on some principle.
Yeah, I think it works on a magnetic. Yeah, it's a magnetic detector, a switch of some sort.
Usually they are some kind of magnet.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
Bigfoot
something
Littlefoot says regarding the Greys, they need our help 3,000 years from now. They need us. That is one of the theories, that they need genetic material and for whatnot because they're breaking down, and they need new genetic material. I've heard that one before.
I don't
what
talk
was
about
that?
the Greys.
There was that's the Millennium Theory, isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah, that was a sci-fi movie
Oh,
and
yeah.
TV show where they were breaking down, and that was one of the things they need was our genetic material. So yeah, sorry, a lot of sci-fi stuff rolling around in here.
That happens.
Pantuffle or something, the wallaby. Yeah, there was that wallaby that cruised around St. Albans for a while.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, stop that. Bears, wallabies, you guys are weird. But You know, really, I think it comes down to the fact that at some point this city had a really cool name and Cole's Mouth, and we changed it to something lame like St. Albans, and the spirits are angry. The land is angry and being called something lame like St. Albans, like so many other cities when we had the name Cole's Mouth. That's wicked cool. Cole's Mouth Dragon. Could you think? I mean, come on, man. That'd be awesome. Oh, you people. Don't know what you got till it's gone. I'm going to start singing some old 80s songs now.
Well, we are rounding out here to the end of the show. We're closing out here, and
let's get these guys to send in some photos and whatnot for next week's.
Yes, it's where I was getting ready to tell them all to
plug that.
Here before we wrap out. Go ahead and send us your photos between now and next week.
And it means like photos of UFOs, Fortean things.
Yes, yeah. Fortean photos, UFO. Strange, anomalous pictures you have. UFOs, Bigfoot, cryptids, whatever. Send it in, and we will analyze it live on Wild and Weird Radio with you guys, everybody working together as the collective to try and find out the best answer.
Yeah,
some of them won't have answers, so be prepared for that. But those are the ones we like the best, honestly. And you guys,
that way.
Yeah,
I'm okay with that.
If you've got weird photos, strange, anomalous captures, send them in. We will review them next Thursday. If you want to keep supporting Wild and Weird Radio, to keep it free for eons and eons and eons and eons and eons to come through the simulation, make sure you head over to wildandweirdwv.com. You can click on the shop tab and get all these matching shirts. So that way we can finally get this cult off the ground. And then you really want to be like
Crushed Davidians.
The Crushed Davidians. And if you guys really, really, really want to support the family of Wild and Weird Radio, go to Amazon and type in Tony Breeden's name and go pick up his books. It's Gray Barker's Book of Monsters, Volume 1 and 2. Yeah. And then you've got, I've got the other one back here on the shelf. It's the Exotheology.
Yeah, Strangers and Aliens.
Yes,
that's a book about ufology and exotheology,
and that's a great one. And just look it up. How many other books do you have? You've got 4 or 5, right?
I've got 10 total books.
10, okay.
Sci-fi, nonfiction, that sort of thing. And Gray Barker's Book of Monsters, Volume 3, and possibly 4, because I can't stop. Will be coming out by the end of spring, looks like.
Very, very cool.
So.
Well, as soon as those are ready to rock and roll, send us. Yes, we are able to stabilize video, Bigfoot, Littlefoot.
To an extent, unless it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, if it's crazy, then we can't. But as long as it's just like hand wobble, and it should be okay. But we'll give it a go either way.
Blair Witch. Shaky camera.
Yeah, like if you're running through the forest, it's gonna be sketchy, but we'll try. And you guys, remember, keep it up, keep tuning in, keep telling your friends about us. Share our feed with some folks. Share it with your weird friends. We know that you are not the only weirdo in your circle of friends. So tell them about Wild and Weird Radio. Tell them about how good of a community that we have here that joins in the chat week after week, and bring them into the fold. One of us. And there's more. Guys, make sure, because we're coming up. We're a couple months out here, but I just wanted to remind everybody that's coming to the Wild and Weird High Strangeness Paranormal Workshop. Make sure that you're keeping an eye on what the weather's doing, dress accordingly, all that good stuff. We will be sending out emails to everybody who's registered. As closer we get to sending you out some just info and the address and GPS dots, so that way if you've never been there before, you can find it on the map. Then
I think we'll meet up there at close in town and then go down.
Yeah, we could have a convoy.
Yeah, that way nobody's gonna get lost, because once you're out there, you have some issues.
And folks could even carpool to reduce car volume.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
So We're going to be sending out information on all that stuff and where to meet up, and we'll get all that together for you. Then remember tomorrow's show when it drops,
boy.
At 9 p.m. It's a great
8 p.m.
show.
8 p.m.
8 p.m. It's hitting at 8. Okay.
Brandon almost dies.
Yeah, stick around.
Yeah, I gotta see that.
Yeah, Brandon almost dies. And it's
Almost.
really good.
Yeah,
it's almost. He's still alive, but it's a really good show. We're talking about a lot of paranormal aspects of hauntings. We're talking about all the different types, so residuals and what is it? Intelligences, RSPK. Even go into manifestations, etc., and
free floating roaming vapors.
Yeah,
yes, it actually does get brought up.
Class 5,
Good.
free roaming vapors are actually mentioned. Yes, absolutely. Come on, we had to.
And it's it's going to be a great show. You guys, I really do think it's one of our best shows that we've put out this season. So you definitely want to check it out. And then we will talk about it next Thursday in the opening segments of the show while we're getting everybody's final photos and whatnot brought in. We will have a little segment where you guys can chime in and talk to us about it and bring up any questions that you have about the show, because it is that good. Like, I'm serious. It's just a good show.
It's a good show. Billy, if you want to share that story, feel free to go ahead and email that over, and we'll have a look at that.
wildandweirdwv@gmail.com.
Yeah, we'll have a look at that. And again, if you want, we can put that up there on the. We can talk about that too, because we can do accounts, we can do anything, whatever you guys want to do. So next week is one of those shows where you guys get to pretty much run with it, and we're gonna have fun with it. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be a good time.
Billy, they do have a group in St. Albans. Tony and Angie runs it, and but it's Tony's wife. And Angie runs a group there in St. Albans. It is a paranormal discussion group.
He's met Denise
at the historic.
I'll be speaking on crap circles.
Yeah. Crap circles.
Yeah, that's right. And it's a good group. I wish I was able to make it to more. And it's actually going to be opening up soon, where I'm going to be able to actually start coming to these things.
All right.
I will be there following you, I guess, and we'll be doing remote viewing. We won't be doing we might be doing remote viewing, but we'll be talking about remote viewing and out of body experiences and other psychic phenomena.
See, if I'm there, you don't know if you're going to be doing any remote viewing at all, do you?
Actually, yeah,
no idea. The Tony factor.
I'm hoping you will be there, because I'm going to have some protocols, and we are going to try to do some remote viewing while I'm there. So, yeah, it's gonna be fun. I'm going to show you guys how to.
And I've of course be talking about cryptozoology and Bigfoot, etc. And I'll have some of our new casts out on display as well.
Hang on. I see Larry over there.
Oh, Larry's saying bacon.
Bacon. Oh yeah, you haven't done that.
Starbud. But you did it wrong. You just automatically said bacon. So you just never know. I mean, it's got to be the prompt. Remember what I told you? It's got to be what pops in here.
Flip the next one.
Like that. And yeah, just like that. Square. See? Just like that.
Hip to be square.
It is hip to be square. Very wise man once said that. He's kind of deaf now, I think.
A little bit, but
Yeah, I heard that.
The Tony factor. That's what messed up the card read.
It could be the Tony factor, but I don't know. I got it.
Yeah, it sounds like a hair product, which in my case would work out. I mean,
it really would. It'd work out great.
All right, we're gonna do one round, and that's it, guys. So ready?
Everybody, get your draws in. Go ahead, make your guesses.
Boom.
Reach out and touch the card.
First thing that hits your head. Boom, just like that. Snap your own fingers. What do I see? Like that.
Yeah, circle. Star.
Yeah, at least you picked one that's in a deck. That's good.
Star. So we got 2 stars, 2 circles.
Okay. New people are like, what is going on? I don't understand.
Triangle.
There's right there. There's one. Just
this is your initiation into the
bacon.
Okay. We still
star.
Still coming. Yeah.
Open your minds and your pocketbooks.
Billy says math. So we're just going to say plus sign.
We'll say plus with Billy on that one then. If it's a plus, Billy gets it. All right. Are we ready, guys?
Let's do it. 3, 2, 1. Flip it. Square. We had the Tony effect.
Tony effect. Right here.
Not a single person got
You
square.
saw it, guys. The
Right.
Tony effect.
Tony
strikes again.
I'm trying to tell you, people.
Tony broke the universe.
Tony does that.
Guys,
I am a phenomenon, just all on my own.
Well, thank you, Tony, the pontificator, for hanging out with us tonight. It's always a pleasure to have you on the show. Can't wait to have you back on for another riveting talk that we go through, because you're a well of information, and it makes the show go really easy. So
anybody, leave your comments if you like the show, if you didn't, so we know what to do, so we can come back to it if we need to, or we can just move on and go in an opposite direction, because it's you that we listen to create these things.
So guys, remember, tomorrow, 8 p.m., YouTube. Fantastic show. Then, same bat channel, same bat time. Next week, Wild and Weird Radio Live, going to be a blast. Oh, yeah. And haven't done one of these yet. So stay wild and weird, guys. And remember, never get into trusting the AI, because it might not be telling you the truth, or it could be telling you the truth just too well. You never know. Stay wild and weird, guys.
Meh. Toasters.